Hello and welcome to Star Wars News and Weekly Comic Recap presented by Tales from the Dark Side. This week we're covering two of the new comic releases, High Republic Adventures number 6 and The War of the Bounty Hunters, Jabba the Hutt, the one-shot. Speaking of bounty hunters, we've got a few more profiles coming from a few other Dark Side crew profilers. We'll also critique the latest Hasbro Black Series releases to come. Good news for Clone Wars collectors and fans of metallic figures. I did some late night research on Funko and Star Wars pops. Now, learn what I discovered or dreamed. It's kind of a blur right now. And lastly, what did you think of Bad Batch episode 13, Infested? Filler. We'll look for anything that says otherwise. Let's get it going, fellas.
Well, thanks, Jedi, for breaking that all down for us. You can see we don't have Marco tonight. He is dealing with some repercussions, I think, of a storm down at his area. So we're going to have
to. He roughed up another member down at the McDonald's, and he might be in the clink one last time. Those Pokemons are hot.
But yeah, we got a full show. We got a lot of stuff to go over today. So I'm just going to let Jedi get us started with the intros, and then we can just get this rolling.
Okay, well, since Marco is not here, I'll sneak this in. Like all Wookiees, his shampoo brand is Head and Shoulders, Knees and Toes, Knees and Toes. Hey, get them in when we can. And he loves them. The mighty solo Wookiee is here, clean and shiny.
What's up?
His channel cooks up rewarding videos like a fresh batch of Mantell mix from the street vendors of Ord Mantell. Pete Renovision is back.
What's up, everybody?
He's rebooted, factory reset, even bought a new one. But the Alexa on his phone sounds exactly like Kathleen Kennedy. Ignores his commands, changes his settings, and sends heart emojis to last name Abrams. Yeah, it's the guy behind the curtain, JJ Maxwell. His reputation took another hit. His Jedi reputation took another hit yesterday when he could not force wheel the IDW online store to add the San Diego Comic-Con High Republic Adventure 6 to his shopping cart. All those years at the Academy for nothing. Yep, that's me, Jedi Johnson 22. Hope you all had better luck.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to that little bit of a hiccup there with the sales, but thank you for the intros as always. So it feels like we have like a substitute teacher. I feel
yeah
sick today.
Yep.
It's like a movie day. We do whatever we want in the class today.
I know we can get away with anything now. Anything else.
Nice play.
I gotta make a paper TIE fighter to throw in the class now. Like, need me some paper,
some spitballs.
Yeah.
Do we want to start with pickups, or we want to start in with the news like type stuff?
We can do pickups real quick.
Yeah, who wants to go first? I don't have that much, but
I go first. Mine's pretty quick.
All right.
And for anybody that saw us last night, and a lot of this will be recap, but. So yesterday, Rob Liefeld came to one of the local LCSs, fellow podcaster on last night.
Did you do the pose? Did you get
Saturday night show MCM on this channel? Works at that store, old Ish. Big shout out to Ish. So Fantastic World Comics. I did take a poll of where and how to get it signed, and I did what the poll said, but. Thank you, Liefeld, for a real good guy. I mean, he was really nice. So
Riptide, huh?
Nice.
Well, I love this cover. Yeah, you don't see the Liefeld's cover. I mean, I could have went, First Domino or 98 or all those other ones, but this is one you don't see very often. It's one of the covers that he did. I really, really enjoy and love. One of a couple, so I got that signed because I like to have that odd not signed. I as far as I know, there's not one on the census signed, so that may be the first.
But that was a little blurry. Solo, did he sign on her boobs?
He did.
Ah,
And that's
Was that extra?
like a groupie from Motley Crue. All right.
yeah. He did ask. That's where he was going to sign, and then he paused for a second, and he goes, "Where do you want me to sign it?" And I said, "Well, the podcast voted, and they said you had to sign there." He said, "Wow, I drew her kind of big," so that was kind of fun. Real nice guy though. I really enjoyed it. I'd never met him before either, so got real lucky on a whatnot and picked up this 1 in 1000 TMNT 80 Eddie Nunez variant.
Nice.
So that's interesting. I love that. It's really hard because I got it in. It's such a classic, fun, good, just virgin cover, and I love me some Turtles. Nice clean back.
Turtles is always good.
I love Turtles, man. But
it would be at this point that normally Marco would be yelling at you for not showing any Star Wars pickups.
Oh, no, I saved it for last. And I have a stack like this of Star Wars I picked up yesterday, so I'll spare you. Ish also hooked me up with...
Oh, look at that.
Nice. Little Vader action.
Yeah. He was like, "Hey, did you get one of these?" I was like, "No, I didn't." He's like, "You got one now." So, again, big shout out to Ish. He's a great guy. I love Ish. So I had a whatnot problem. They ended up canceling all my orders because they overcharged me like 3-4 times. Anyway, through word of mouth, I was able to get back on. Thanks to Astral Realm Comics, hooked me up with the guy who was having the sale, and I was able to hit the guy up and get the book. Because I was like, dude, I really want that. Don't sell that. Like, I know they canceled all that. That was their mistake, not mine. I want it. So Manimal, big shout out. But,
nice.
Yeah, look, Clone Wars 4 variant. And
Maul
I don't
versus
know.
Yoda.
I've looked and looked. There's a little dirt on the back, but man, I don't see 9.4. I see a 9.6 definitely. There's a little flaw, but
yeah,
I don't really care. I'll take a 9.2, 9.0, 9.4, 9.6. That's all new mint. But man, I've been looking for this book for so long. I love that cover. What a classic cover. Just a beaut. That's a beaut, Clark. That's it for me.
All right. Who's next?
I go real quick.
All right. I'll put you in the head chair.
So, avoiding FOMO or suffering it, I don't know which, but I was able to pick up one of these guys, a little 1 in 25 of Devil on Pop, our new bounty hunter, and then made a lot of progress on the old Star Wars Dark Horse variants. Scored a whole bunch of Dynamic Forces exclusives. So, I'll go through them real quick. This is one of my favorites. Well, Samuel L. Jackson foil cover, just kind of chilling there.
Yeah,
Jedi Council. Yeah, Jedi Council #1. And then we got a little. This is one of my other favorite series. A little Star Wars Infinities Vader cover. So that's always nice. Yeah, the foil pops on that one.
Foil.
It's good. All these are foil. Dynamic Forces apparently very big in foil.
Yeah, they love that foil.
They love it. Another Dynamic Forces. This was Jedi Quest, Star Wars Jedi. This one was super hard to find. I actually had to import an American comic book from Singapore to get this. But I finally got it, so that's good.
No, I have one of those just in regular, not the foil.
Yeah,
I didn't know it even had a foil.
That's a good series. There's actually a character in there, a Jedi known, I think it's just Master Faye or something, but she's super old and super powerful, kind of like Yoda, but she never uses a lightsaber. It's an interesting character. And then I showed one of these off before, but I ended up getting another one of Darth Maul, the photo cover, with kind of the foil on top.
Nice.
And last but not least, we're talking a little bit about Ord Mantell later in the show. So I got Qui-Gon Obi-Wan, Last Stand on Ord Mantell foil cover.
Nice.
A lot of Dark Horse Dynamic Forces variants. I don't know how that happened, but got them all in 1 week. So.
That's cool, no?
Yeah.
Plus, you got one of the books we're going to talk about in a little bit with the peacock.
Yep.
Lompoc.
Yep. Sure did.
I guess I can show a couple of things off real fast here. Let me drag myself over to main seat. I didn't get much, and if you watched Marco and I on Wednesday, you would have already seen I got these toys. But I'm just going to show a couple of Star Wars toys I did get in. I got those Black Series based on the comics. So I got Jackson.
I like that. I gotta go.
Yeah, it's just cool. Definitely fun. I got a Jax and I got a Maul, and I just gotta see if I got the right. Yeah, this is the one that opens. One of them, the glue got a little worn out in the heat sitting outside, but we got beach season Maul, shirtless and ready to roll.
Taking off to the gun show there.
Oh yeah.
Tattooing
Yeah, so it's got a couple of figures.
Beach season.
Just a couple of figures this week. No comics, no Star Wars comics. To show, and then the rest of the stuff we'll get to.
And Jedi, we're doing your pickups later in your segment, correct?
Yep,
we didn't leave
my segment, so we'll save them.
All right.
Yeah. So before we get started, that's what we got. We got a bunch of people already checking in, trucking with comics. I see Ruben here, VK on comics. We got DT, Chad Farr. There's Ruben again. Darth Lopez, welcome. And there's a bunch of you guys in there. And we'll get back to the chat. I'll try to do my best, but I got to run the con. I got to play producer all day today, so I'll do my best.
Yep.
What are we going to start with? We're going to start with the San Diego?
Yeah, let's start with San Diego.
Right.
Kick it off with that.
All right, here we go.
All right, so a little bit of news coming out of San Diego Comic-Con. They did a High Republic panel with all 6 of the creators. We kind of went over with something similar that they did a virtual event a few weeks ago. But so you got Kevin Scott and Danielle Older and Claudia Gray, and I think the gal there in the middle whose name slips my mind is the host. And then
yes,
Charles Soule and Justina Ireland were all there. So so basically they introduced, or well, I shouldn't say introduced, but they very briefly told us about what will be Wave 3 starting in January of this year. So you got two same format as before. You got a comic series coming out, which I'll get to a little bit later. It's going to be very interesting. And you got an adult novel, a young adult novel, and then a children's book. All 3 set to come out by different authors later on. So I think, So on this slide here, sorry for the small print because I just kind of copied and pasted from the Star Wars website there, but they did have a little bit of detail on the High Republic Free Comic Book Day book, or High Republic Adventures Free Comic Day book, and the Edge of Balance, which is the manga book coming out. So both kind of cover different things. They just kind of briefly went over what their characters were about. It sounds like the I think his name was Rom, kind of the mechanic character from the novel at the fair. He's going to be in the Free Comic Book Day High Republic Adventures. Yeah, so that should be an interesting pickup there. And then on to the next one.
Now, would that be Rom's first appearance in the comic?
I didn't go back and check, and I don't know because these technically, although I think they got shipped to shops last week, the Free Comic Book Day books don't actually technically come out until August 14th, unless your shop is letting them slip out, which I saw on Instagram some shops are. So you might check your shop's shelf and see if they put them out, but that's all up to y'all because some shops will do it, some shops won't. So. And then this was just quick. We found out that Claudia Gray, there's really not any information, but she is going to be the writer handling the next adult novel, The Fallen Star. So it got its title and we know its author, but other than that, we don't really know much else.
You know, that kind of the implication of that title.
Yeah. It seems like it's going to be the end. You know, they're moving through the third wave. I think is kind of supposed to be the last wave. So they're kind of moving through that, and they could always kind of expand out from there. But from the title, it sounds like an ominous title. Put it that way. Does. And then next up, this was the most interesting news. So sometime we're going to end up getting just a 230-page, so a little bit bigger issue in January from Charles Soule of 2 comics, Marvel comics, called The Eye of the Storm. And these will be basically background, and he didn't really say origin, but I'm assuming origin of Martian Row, sorry.
Yeah.
So this could be the very interesting book. He handles Star Wars origin stories very well. In ways, does he? You know, I think pretty sure he do the first volume of Vader. I think like all 25 issues of that. And I believe he also handled Kylo Ren's story, The Rising of Kylo Ren. So he has done that before, and he's done it very well. And I think it's going to be great. Even though there's only 2 issues apparently, but it's going to be a great issue. I don't know if there's any tie-ins. They didn't mention that, but it should be interesting.
I'm surprised they didn't try to stretch that out more.
Yeah, it seems odd to only do 2 short issues, but maybe it might have been something they created to sneak it in. And they do have in October another miniseries, The Trial of Shadows, coming out, which they already announced before. So that might tie into it too. I don't know. They didn't mention, but it's going to be interesting.
I mean, technically, they're not really tie-ins, but I mean, so far, all the novels or anything that has anything with the Nihil in it, since he runs the Nihil, I mean, he's the main protagonist of the whole running the whole Nihil, so they all kind of tie into him.
Yep. To me, is
point of view.
It's very interesting to me because I think he is still a mysterious character. I know in the novels it kind of seems like we know where he comes from, but we don't really. And he kind of wants to, at least in the latest novel, escape kind of his ancestry or not bring it up at all, really. So it'll be interesting to see where that comes from and if he is who he says he is and everything else. So.
Yeah, definitely cool. Definitely stuff to look forward to.
Right.
But I guess also tying into San Diego, we had the, as Jedi noted in the opening, his troubles in getting that IDW High Republic convention exclusive.
Yes. Sold out fast. Gone.
So quickly.
Yep.
So quickly. And it wasn't even up right away. I remember I hit the site right away, added a bunch of other stuff that I wanted, G.I. Joe and Kanto, and then Star Wars. It says coming soon. It says coming soon. It's not up yet.
Literally the one book you really wanted, and it still said coming soon, and all the others were up, and you tried it. I finally got through, but man, it was like 10 minutes late from the other books. Yeah. I was afraid the other books I had in my cart were going to sell out by the time this one came up. I was like, do I buy other books? Do I make 2 orders?
I did 2 orders. That's what I did. I was like, I don't want the Kanto and the G.I. Joe selling on them, even though I know they're probably not going to. But I didn't want to miss anything.
Yep. But yeah, it was tough. Ran out fast, so we'll see.
What do you think? Do you think we'll see a bunch hit the market like the eBay and the whatnot?
Well, I couldn't figure out what the print run was.
Usually about that.
Yeah, they didn't mention how much it limited to. And IDW has released exclusives at one con and then at another con. Like I know they did that with a couple books. They did it with I think they even did it with those Forces of Destiny, the version covers. I think they did with those, and I know they've done it with like Lock and Key books before, where they said it's it's an STCC exclusive, and then you'll see it like WonderCon like 6 months later. So I don't know. They do weird stuff.
EBay, a couple hours later, I was just like bored, and I went and checked eBay, and they were already listed pre-sale, obviously because they're not in hand yet. They were already listing on eBay for 90 plus.
Yeah.
Up to and over 100.
Don't let the FOMO get a hold of you. Don't. Because that always happens. The same thing happened with those Peach Usagi Yojimbo books where, pre-sales, they sell for so high. And then once everybody actually gets them in their hands, everybody wants to list their extra copy because, hey, you can buy 2. That means everybody's at least listing 1, if not both copies they got. Market floods and then price comes down. Yeah. So just be patient.
And even though they had limits and stuff, I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that everybody only got 2. There's ways around that people use, but yeah.
We're calling you out, Justin. We're going to report you, Justin.
There you go, Justin. When you get them in hand, there's guys, probably 5 here on the panels that we'll buy one if you got one for sale.
Well, maybe he means 2 orders of different stuff, like I was going to do.
I did 2 orders of different stuff.
Yeah.
Because don't forget, they had all those cheap ones too. They had like the $5, like Vader's Castle. You can get the like older copies of stuff.
The old
They're really cheap.
Yep.
So hopefully you guys got one out there, and Justin got 2.
So you're saying I should wait until next year's con to try and get this one? Is that what I?
Maybe you can get it for $5. Most likely, no. Most likely they won't have that, but definitely wait until people get this in their hands because then those prices will come down. Or just wait to see if one of us has an extra one for you, buddy.
Yeah.
January, February, when everyone's got to pay off their credit card debt from Christmas. That's when they'll be on sale for $35, $40.
Yep.
But yeah, High Republic 6, which I think we should just roll right into our
let's do it
reviews.
Yeah,
do it.
We'll roll straight into comic reviews. So High Republic 6 or High Republic Adventure 6. I'm gonna get that mixed up like 80 times tonight, probably. High Republic Adventure 6, which Adventures being the better series of the two by, I think, almost everyone's assumptions so far. I hope that turns around. I hope 7, is going to maybe introduce some Sith and some other villains, and I think it hopefully get more interesting. But for now, the Adventure series of High Republic has been the better series, I think, by most people's account. But yeah, so you got 3 covers for this bad boy. You got the A cover, which I think is actually the nicest cover, even maybe a little bit nicer than the SDCC cover. But so you got the A cover, and then you got the 1 in 10 variant. And of course, you got the SDC exclusive, which we talked about, which is gone.
$100 apparently on eBay now.
Yeah, and the other ones aren't doing too bad either. And we'll get into that why in here in a minute. But you got the A cover is doing well on eBay on the secondary market. So is the 1 in 10. So, yep. Let's hit the next slide.
All right, what do we got next? We'll get right into it.
All right. So right off the top, you get. I would call it a first appearance, or at least a cameo, of Tau Bota, which basically this is Farzala, who is kind of the taller, blue-skinned Jedi that you saw on the cover. He is having kind of a flashback or memory of a holo he used to watch with Tau Bota, and basically it was him fighting Sith, and kind of like the the Valley of the Jedi scenario, where it's basically one guy versus like 80 Sith, and he's just kicking butt right and left. And Farzal is kind of remembering, hey, that was me, or that's what I wanted to be when I was a kid. And then
he was pulling star cruisers out of the sky by himself.
Yeah, I was ripping them down. But yeah. So and then it flashes forward to present time, and on board the vessel, and you got Farzala, and then you got his master, who I'm going to mispronounce it, but Orbororoto or something like that. But basically, he's in straight up hibernation mode here as they've gone to their mission. He's gone to sleep and will not wake up for anything. So it's left the 2 Padawans kind of on their own on this thing. And it's flipped to the next page for me there.
Looks nothing like I thought he would look like from the book.
No.
I'm sure they would describe them in the book. Nothing like I imagined. And speaking of nothing like I imagined,
yeah. So these were kind of the first appearances that made more news. You got Leox there on the right. You got Affy Hollow there in the middle, and Geode, and they're all from the Into the Dark novel, which has become more and more popular.
In fairness, I don't blame. They really could not have done anything other than put Hansel up on there from that's the only thing that would have made me happy. So I don't blame them.
You've been looking for Hansel, which I know Hansel is so hot right now, but I'm still picturing Space McConaughey.
I don't think they did too bad of a job. I mean, he's got the open shirt and he's got the kind of young McConaughey long hair.
If you listen to the audio book, and maybe you won't have this problem if you read the book, but if you listen to the audio book, I just have a hard time putting that voice with this caricature, this drawing of.
Why? He's got like the shark tooth, necklaces.
The voice does not match the face. I don't know.
It doesn't.
I just wanted to see Hansel. That's it.
Rocking a little bit of a perm mullet there. I don't know.
Yeah, and to that degree, you had Affy, who I think looked a little older than I would have expected, at least in this shot.
Yeah.
She does look a little bit younger as they animate her a little bit differently later in the book.
She was on the cover of the book too, right? So it's easy to kind of.
But yeah, I kind of imagined her young, and the way she acts is a little bit younger. And she's younger. She's Reith's age, and Reith is like in his late teens, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
She's not that old. And then of course, what everybody think of Geo?
He's
a big slab.
I imagine exactly like I thought he would.
Yeah, I do imagine him more rounded or something. I imagine more like a boulder, but maybe.
That I was thinking like a not a pillar, but just something not like a slab or
yeah.
And there's 2001: A Space Odyssey. Like there's gonna be a monkey throwing a bone in front of him.
Yeah. And there's a really funny moment kind of later on that we'll get to with him in there, but it reminds me a lot of the novel. So here we go. Basically, the vessel and its crew and the 3 Jedi here are arriving on the Hutt homeworld, and they're here to do a negotiation over a deal. And you got the, basically they're deciding who will go. And unfortunately, nobody can wake up the good old Jedi Master there as he sleeps through everything. So they decide, well, Farzala is just going to be thrown to the wolves here, and
He's out
didn't
there.
they say that they hibernate for like centuries or something? We may never see him move.
Right? Yeah.
He's in the Odin sleep. Don't worry about him.
Yeah. And so basically, Farzala gets thrown to the wolves. So now he's the negotiator for this deal, and it's all up to him. So next page for me. Then we meet what's his name, Ishnar, and Ishnar is the negotiator for the Hutts in this deal, and and I put him down as a first appearance. I don't know if we'll ever see him again. He does have kind of an interesting moment later in the book. We'll probably see him at least in a couple more issues, but they're there and they decide, well, Affy and Court's the shorter blue masked Jedi that you saw on the cover, is going to
Crate master.
stay behind. They're going to stay behind with the ship and the Jedi Master who won't make up. And you got, like I said, Farzala, Leox are going to sit here and try to do what they can with the Hutt clan negotiation. And then I put this on the right because I enjoy this. I don't know if anybody else does in these High Republic books, and I haven't seen anybody highlight.
It's like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah, it's like a little informational thing, and it kind of recaps.
I enjoyed actually seeing what the statues look like because maybe I haven't gotten to the part in the audiobook yet. I haven't quite finished it. I've got about another hour left, but they really haven't described the statues in the book. So I was kind of glad to see them.
Yeah, they get pretty vague descriptions in the books and stuff. So it's interesting to see the statues and to see the like that image is from issue 5. It's interesting to see it reanimated there. So on the top.
Yeah, if all you have is an hour left in the book, Jedi, then you've got all the description on those statues you're gonna get for that novel. They really don't give too much more. And I don't know if they planned that. I think they may kind of have planned that to give more description and let it flow out later in the comic books and some of the other novels. Because the last Kevin Scott novel, he gave a little bit more description of them. Almost in just a passing, but a little more detailed in passing.
But
I think it's vague intentionally.
Yeah, probably so. And I think different artists have picked them differently too. Like you'll see them here, and then you'll see similar statues depicted somewhere else. And like even as we went over the Lost 20 thing, you saw they were different there too.
Yeah.
So. But here you got, of course, things go sideways. Predictably, big shock. And you got apparently the Hutt clan has a cave troll. I don't know from Lord of the Rings, but that's what that reminded me of. Well, I think it's some kind of rancor. But either which way, Leox and Farzala there are, up a creek, and the Hutt clan also boards the ship there. So the vessel. And this is one of my favorite. It was the bottom there where the guy's like, "Hey, there's a rock. There's a rock in this cabin."
Yeah, so the Hutt clan takes over the vessel and points the guns down, and they're in the middle of the negotiations. And the Hutts say, "Well, I thought this was supposed to be peaceful. Why are all your guns pointed at us?" And then, bam, they kind of get tossed into the Rancor situation here, and they're like, "Wait, we're not pointing guns at you. We don't know what happened up there."
Yep.
I love that the rock wasn't there, Geode wasn't there, and then he's there, and that's what causes a lot of the freak out. Is okay, where'd he come from? Okay, now where'd he go? And again, I don't want to beat this up too much because, like I said, I haven't read all the books. I hope they don't change that. I really love the fact that the Geode just appears and disappears.
Well, how they're gonna
really don't know how.
What are they gonna show?
The question is, can he teleport?
Yes. And I hope they don't answer that for a while because I'm enjoying the fact that he just like, crap.
Yep.
Yeah, you'll love it by the end of the book. And this is an add-on to the novel where him appearing and disappearing and reappearing, and it freaks people out. And this guy definitely freaks out. Like, I'm not going in there with that strange rock. And yeah, it was a really, really good part of this book, this comic.
Yep. And we got our
plants.
Yeah, our favorite villain shows up, the Jin Gear. So they show up and they're like, "Oh, these guys are here too."
Yeah, well, why not?
Great, yeah, why not? Why not everything go wrong? So then they decide, well, we should probably work on that. And then, Hutt clan, everybody attacked the Jin Gear, and they still don't trust Farzala and Leox, but it ends up Farzala pretty much saves everybody's life. And then he's like, well, I guess you guys are cool. But we're still going to take you hostage.
Yeah, we were trying to kill you, and you saved me. By the way, you're still my prisoner.
Thanks for that, but you're still, we're going to lock you up.
Reward you by not killing you right now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. And then Farzala kind of has, by the way, now I took this to mean that Affy and the vessel crew got away. Is that right? Or did anybody? Because they mentioned that Geode managed to outpilot them. Like, how did we get outpiloted by a rock or whatever? So I don't know if they got away or if they're still captured, but they're kind of looking on from behind. So I don't know if they're hiding at this point. But basically, Farzal is having, kind of internal thoughts where he's like, really, you're with people, but you're also alone. And then it shows him in prison, which kind of flashes back to maybe he'll go all like Jack Bauer and break out of there and go all like, because he was having that flashback at the beginning where he saw Talbota, basically, just going at like 80 people at a time. I almost wonder if that's what he'll do if he gets out of here, but because it's a pretty capable Padawan, so be interesting.
That's a lot of chains though. They got stuck on him.
Yeah,
looks like a Stephen Platt cover.
It's a pretty dark image. So you got Farzala and chains there, and of course we got to be continued. So we'll see what happens to the vessel crew and everybody next. It didn't show Leox getting locked up. I assume he did get locked up with Farzala, but
or he's just hanging out somewhere.
Yeah,
he might be hiding.
Matthew Conaughey his way out of a situation.
Yeah, he was playing the bongos in his backyard.
Spice in the corner.
But
spice.
So good run of the series here, or a good book in this run, and I think it's gonna be good. And you got several first appearances, so if you see it at your local shop, pick it up. It'd be a good pickup.
Ton of first appearances.
Yep. Yeah. But 5 at least. Actually, probably more technically than the 5, but 5 at the very least.
Yeah, I still think the big key, I think, is that the crew. I think the crew is
they're the ones who
had a whole novel almost to themselves. So
I don't know. I think it's a toss-up. Geode and Blue Rancor, I think, would be my. Those are the big first.
Cave Troll.
Yeah, Cave Troll Rancor.
All right. So from the good book to the kind of mediocre book, but Darth Vader.
Darth Vader 14 this week.
Yeah. Here we got Darth Vader 14. So you got a cover on the left, middle cover was a headshot cover, which was a good headshot cover. I think is it Comic Cooley that's doing these? I think, is that right?
I think you might be right. I'm not positive though.
And I think Chris Sprouse is doing the 50th variants, and this was droids. I actually picked up. I haven't been picking up hardly any other 50th variants, but I had to pick up this one just because it's a droids variant, and you never see those characters.
Oh yeah, I just noticed that.
Yeah, but all right, next page we'll get into it. So it kicks off here with Darth Vader basically coming back from, and the Empire has rebuilt him, and Administrator Moore is embarrassed there. She's the Umbrarian, by the way, which is mentioned at the end of the last book, if anybody knows. But she's known as Administrator Moore in the Empire. So basically, they say he fails. She goes to her supervisor, and he's like, "You're basically demoted." She's like, that next mission is not the mission for a sub-administrator," which I did not know that the Empire had all these ranks of executives, apparently, but they do. So she got demoted, and then
a lot of red tape.
Yeah,
a lot of red tape in the Empire.
And too much upper management.
I don't get why it didn't really make sense much to me narratively. Why this book does this, I'll get into a little bit more here.
I've got 8 bosses. That's right. So when I make a mistake,
they need the Bobs as efficiency experts there. But yeah, so you got here. This basically flashes back to the last book, Darth Vader 13, here at the very end, and IG-88 has gone back to report to them, that Vader basically beat him. And shock, Vader followed IG-88 back there, and now he's basically like, "You're all dead. Like, run if you can." So they all run from Vader, and ends up Moore gets bested by Vader there, obviously, and then he's like, "You're no real Sith, and you had no chance of beating me." And she's basically convinces him. She knows the secret of earlier in the book, she figured out that the Skywalker is the name, and it's related to Han Solo and the Crimson Dawn and everything. So she kind of tricks him into saying that that's how she piques his interest, and he doesn't kill her. Is you know who Skywalker is, and so from there,
Harder than me.
Yeah. So her trick was to get him to basically back off, and now she's going to go to the auction. Flip to the next page for me.
Oh, the auction.
The auction. We've been to the auction before. So she's at the auction. She's going over, and she's basically talking to Ochi, who is also there. And you saw a lot of. It's weird. This book like goes back like a third of this book is stuff you pretty much saw in Darth Vader 13. I don't know why they kind of rolled back that. So the narrative is kind of flashing back and forth between that two. But she's at the Crimson Dawn auction for Han Solo and Carbonite there. And she's there, and you see the bidding war there between Buku and Jabba the Hutt. And she was kind of in the middle of it, and she says, Jabba is going to figure out that Buku is bidding him up and betraying him. This isn't going to work, blah, blah, blah. It's going to go sideways. And Uchi's like, just wait for it. It's like, turns out Vader's on the dock, and basically the gate guards are like, hey, there's already somebody from the Empire here. Vader tosses him out of the way, and next issue you're basically going to see Vader showing up at the auction, and with some Death Troopers behind him. So that's pretty much all that happened in that book. It kind of half recapped Darth Vader 13, and
Afra freaking out.
Yep. So minus Afra was pretty much this book. But.
Filler.
Yep. Next book up. Does anybody want to take this one? Anybody else read it?
Jabba the Hutt. I did. I read it.
Go through it?
It's a little different. And, man, I looked for these covers, and they are not easy to find anymore. Yeah. They are even worse than I thought they were going to be. Let's go to the...
Yeah, I got cover A, and then...
profile picture.
Yeah, headshot, and you got kind of... which random B cover there in the middle, and then 125 variant on the right, which we showed off.
I mean, I get the 125 is going to be the one people want because it's an incentive, and people might default back to the B cover. But from what I saw, there's a lot of those B covers out there too. I mean, maybe not in the stores, but a lot of people were pre-selling those things like in packs of 5.
Yeah, and all covers were up on previews forever, even before final order cutoff. So
yeah,
they got ordered a lot.
A couple local LCSs, well, a couple too, yesterday.
Well, it's a couple.
I didn't see any of them. So, on the hunt we go. Yay.
Yep.
Star Wars fandom. Yay for me. So when we start out, we're in Jabba's hut on Tatooine, and he's making the calls, and he's looking like he wants to know where Han is. He wants to know where Boba is. He wants to know what's going on. And then he ends up giving a call to Mrs. Mohawk, color changing Mohawk, and this is her first appearance.
Yep, she looked pretty prim and proper there in that thing, like at the spa or whatever she was.
I was gonna say, I thought she got out of the shower, like she got the towel wrapped around her head, like she's letting her feathers dry.
Yeah, and Diva, what's her last name? Diva
Lombop.
Lombop. All right.
Bop.
I was reading it right.
Bop.
Yep. And so he gives her a call because she owes him. He very much reminds her that she owes him a debt. She does not want to go out and bounty hunt, but as Jabba has gracefully told her, you're going to do it because I'm Jabba and you owe me, and that's the way this works.
While tossing a handful of Cheetos in his mouth.
Yeah, this comes up several times that this is not a monetary debt. This is a blood debt. And it never, I think it's going to, I would like to see that kind of unfold if she continues to be a regular as to what that's all about. But it's,
I'm sure a lot of people hope so, considering what they've been paying for those variants and the B covers.
Yeah. And this book kind of narratively flashes like back to like a previous period where Boba and her took a bounty under Jabba, and then it also flashes back to present time where she's kind of after going to figure out what happened to Han and Boba. So there's a lot of flashing around there.
So then she ends up sitting there talking to Jabba face to face. Jabba has flown to her, showed up and said, no, you're going to do it. I didn't, I was polite before. I'm telling you now, you're going to do it. And she ends up throwing on her bounty hunter gear. She says, well, thanks, thank God that I brought it with me. I thought this might come to what it was going to
Just in case.
Just in case. Just in case.
Sid and Nancy punk rock style. She's on her way out.
Right. Good
So
thing that I brought all my.
This came up before when we were talking about it in the chat and in the pre-show. That so Boba Fett's going with her, and she. I don't know if it's a term of endearment or if she just doesn't like him. I kind of think it's a term of endearment.
Really, I got the opposite.
Really?
Pup. Yeah, she I think she thinks he's young and doesn't like him very much because she's been at least supposedly, even though like Solo said before, we haven't seen her before, but she's apparently been at this for a very long time and kind of thinks I think of him as more like a newcomer or the new guy that I don't like is how I took it in. But
well, we'll find out later. She does him dirty, but I don't know. I just kind of got this vibe between the two.
Yeah, and true bounty hunter fashion.
Yeah.
All right. Move on. Or
to say, don't ever trust any of the Star Wars bounty hunters. They're always going to stab you in the back every book, every time. Doesn't matter which one you're dealing with,
or in the leg.
Unimportant what's going on there. We're moving on.
Yeah.
So they're going after this guy. He's got some information, and I can't remember this guy's name.
Benoit Balls.
Yeah.
Benoit Balls is his name.
It's Jam something. I can't remember the last name. John. He's their bounty that they're after. He basically gets the drop on him there, and then
of course, and this is the old. This isn't current. This is a flashback to the old when her and Boba were together.
Yep, they're working together.
So they find him for Jabba because Jabba wanted him, but Jabba wanted him alive. He realizes that he's being hunted by two of the best and starts to kind of panic. And Boba says, I'm here. I'm going to be nice. Just work with me and I won't kill you.
Hey, can I bring up one thing? Because, of course, we can't show every panel. But what did you think of the skin melting gas that was in an earlier panel? I thought that was pretty graphic for a Star Wars comic.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
What was it, the last one?
And it was kind of funny.
No, I don't see it.
I didn't leave it. I didn't put it in there.
Okay.
It was a little funny how she says, how long can you hold your breath right there in that top left panel? And he's like, oh, I can hold it for a long time. And then they get outside and he's like, well, what was it? What good would it do for me to hold my breath if it's flesh-eating gas? All it would have to do is touch me. And she says, yeah, I just wanted to know.
Yep.
Hey, Arnold survived outside on Mars, exposed to the elements
with him.
for a few seconds. So,
she is kind
tough
of
it out.
She's pretty ruthless.
Kind of, that kindergarten, I got a crush on you, so I'm going to torture you a little bit. Kind of weirdness flirting.
Yeah.
So then
it flashes forward again there. Yeah. So it flashes forward and picks up with her undercover trying to get information on where Han and Boba are. Then it flashes back again to her.
Back and forth.
Didn't this four-arm guy, I forget his name, didn't he die in Bounty Hunt War of the Bounty Hunters I want to say Alpha? Didn't he die? Is that the same guy that fixed Han's carbonite?
I think
you're right. Well, this story it says at the beginning that the story takes place before and during War of the Bounty Hunters Alpha. Like that's the timeline that this is taking place. So I assume the flashback is the before part, and this
because he was talking about how he just came into all this money or whatever. He was buying drinks for the house. I thought that was talking about the money he got from Boba from fixing.
I don't know, but we got to roll. We're 43 minutes into this thing, and we're still doing
comedy. So, more or less, she does him dirty, double crosses him. Boba lights her on fire, which she didn't expect, and she ain't pretty no more after that. At least on one half of her. So basically, she does get
was it Blade 2 or Blade 3 with the extended jaws?
Yeah. She goes all Nomak from Blade 2. There's Blade 2.
She does. She goes Viper.
Basically, she gets the drop on Boba, poisons him, and says, "Hey, it's like, you like me, right? No, not really. And I don't know if she's supposed to be like a cannibal here and eating people. I don't know.
No,
I don't know what the inclination to that was.
To it.
Yeah,
they allude to it.
But basically, she shows up in the next panel with his Jom's head in her hand and Boba on the ground, saying, going back to Jabba. You go ahead.
And Jabba says, hey, I thought he was supposed to be alive. She says, hey, accidents happen. It's the way that it worked out. Here you go. Here's your stuff. I told you I'm not.
We did what we could.
Yep. Yeah, we did what we could. Have a good one.
we come back to present time, and you got her and looking for Boba, and basically you find out that Jabba has gotten this invite to the Crimson Dawn auction, like apparently everyone in the galaxy has, and she finds out about it. So she sets up a meeting with I don't know if she set it up or if they approached her, but if you flip to the next one, she meets up with the Crimson Dawn informant who we don't see. And basically she's like, so you guys are going to kill Jabba, right? And they're like, yeah, no, not yet. And then word gets back that Jabba is going to the auction, and I can't see the line now, and I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's like, woe is my enemies, or something like that. Get my ship ready. Yeah. So he's getting ready to go. He's getting ready to go to the auction.
Oh, right there. Ready my ship. Woe to all those who stand in my way. Yeah. I will lay claim to Han Solo myself.
Which sounds like the weirdest thing for a Star Wars character to say. But that's your final line. Woe to his enemies.
Yeah. So what do we think about the Lum Pop? Or are we going to see a lot more?
Diva Lum Pop.
Yeah.
I think we'll see her.
She'll come back.
Yeah. I mean, she's clearly going to be in something going forward with the Crimson Dawn, because there's no point in having that last kind of meeting without her going forward a little bit.
Yeah, so I kind of had the weirdest thought as I was reading this. And remember, I'm always wrong. We should do a segment on that one of these days where we go back and look at the things that I was always wrong about. But I kind of got the feeling that, she has so many of the same character features of Asajj Ventress, kind of. When I say that, I mean, she's a badass female. She's sexy. She's sassy. She's mysterious. Basically, Asajj without the lightsaber and the Force. So anyway, I say all that just because I'm wondering, are they trying to develop a character like Asajj to kind of introduce and to kind of get a grip on the hobby, because or maybe the movies or the TV, whatever. Because they pretty much already played out Asajj's life from start to finish, and she's such a popular character. Are they looking for some sort of similar substitute? I don't know. I just had that feeling.
I almost wonder if it's just they wanted like a female rival to Boba, maybe. And there really isn't anybody. There really isn't that many there as far as female bounty hunters or other things that they could have. So they basically just created a new one. Yeah.
Well, there's not really many other bounty hunters that are at the level of Boba. So bring someone in that's better or even with Boba and the fact of it being a very strong female character, it's a smart move. If they play this and they play it right, I think she'll be a hit character, and I think she'll be around for a while.
Yeah.
Possible. It is possible. But let's look at what we got coming up after this.
Yep. Okay, so next week we got Star Wars High Republic 7. You got, of course, the A cover and action figure variant cover, which is the first one for High Republic. Yeah. And then you got probably the worst looking 1 in 25 variant that I could possibly think of there. It just looked terrible.
Brutal.
We'll have no trouble finding that one.
No.
I kind of like it. Good. I kind of like it.
Now it's all yours, Solo.
Yeah. Pass.
You can get all the runoff from the stores that have the the variants.
Exclusives, yeah. So you got 2 store exclusives, at least that I know of. One on the right, one on the left is Mike Mayhew with Darth Krall there on the cover, and then you got another who apparently this will be his first appearance. We've been told. I don't know, haven't seen the book. He kind of shows up, and we'll see what context it is. And then you got I don't know how to pronounce his first name. Last name's Terani. Which has a store variant, and I know it's at 789 Comics and some other things, but it's got Orla Jahani, which we've seen from one of the novels there on the cover, and she will be in the book as well. So
definitely interesting.
Yeah. And then also Star Wars Main Run number 15. Got the A cover coming out next week. Headshot cover with Leia, which looks pretty good. I like the orange background.
It's not too bad. It's like some of them are. It depends on the framing. Like some of them, I felt they left too much empty space, but this I think is the right amount.
Yeah, I like that one. And then you got Ewoks. This is going to be your 50th anniversary cover, so I might pick that one up because you don't see that very often. Yeah. And then you do have a 1 in 25 cover, which actually looks like a pretty cool X-wing battle cover.
Yeah, you don't get many of those either. Like just the actual vehicles and ships. Like
so. And then, another book that's kind of been making some news. If you look at online shops and stuff, the B cover at least is selling out. But you got the A cover there on the right, which is another Star Wars Adventures. Luke and Leia cover. So, but this is with Star Wars Adventures 7. So yeah, so you got Luke and Leia on the A cover, and you got Crimson Corsair on the B cover, which Crimson Corsair will be the secondary story in this. So it's really his first full appearance. It's going to be in this book.
I feel like we talked about that months ago.
Yeah,
We did.
This book has been on previews for like 3 months. So if you didn't think to order,
I think this is his first cover. Don't quote me; I could be wrong.
First
this
cover,
is his first cover, right?
First cover. The only thing he's been in that I know of was I think Force Awakens adaptation number 3 or 2 or something.
I think it's
basically it's just a cameo, and he's sitting at the table because he's the guy that takes Finn, or at least agrees to take Finn. But
when Finn's deciding to run.
I thought that's what was right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all we got for comics. So 50 minutes. We're finally through the comic reviews.
See what happens when Marco's not here.
There was a lot of comics. There was a lot of comics.
Yeah, I mean,
this
that's
week.
3 comics.
Yeah,
though.
and hey, in my defense, making those slides, War of the Bounty Hunters, Jabba the Hutt one shot was longer than a normal comic. It was like 36 pages. So
Yeah, it was good.
Excuses,
I enjoyed this week. Good reads.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely good reads. I don't know. I got to get the next set of
They all
decks all ready. But
seem
let's
to
check
be-
in with the chat, see what we got going here. I still see Ruben still hanging in there. You got Kyle stopping by. Nate 138. Joe's dueling.
How many people left us in our rambling?
I know we're still gaining. We're up to 51.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, all right.
Welcome everybody.
Good. Welcome all.
Yeah, thanks everybody for coming in and watching.
Yep.
and being here.
But
Like,
I'll give JJ a little bit of a break from the talking because he had to do most of the comic reviews for us. And we're gonna get to our bounty hunters, kind of playing off of that. We're talking about the War of the Bounty Hunters. So we're gonna do a couple of bounty hunter profiles. So I'm gonna do the first one. See if I can get this open and ready. And wrong comic next to me. That's all right. That being said, I'm gonna cover Embo, who admittedly, outside of seeing him on a couple of covers and hearing a couple of friends talk about him, I didn't know a whole heck of a lot before getting this stuff ready. But I got to tell you, I had to string Embo. He's probably the coolest bounty hunter you may know nothing about. Realistically. So you're going to ask yourself, who is Embo? Well, Clone Wars for the most part. If you go back to the animated Clone Wars show, he was there. We've seen him. Yeah, he's from the species of Kyuzo. I don't know if I'm going to say it right. It sounds very Japanese in nature. Kuzo, maybe. Homeworld of Fatrong?
Fat wrong.
Fat wrong. I don't know. Fat wrong. Whatever. And he also speaks Kyuzo. Yeah, just in case you're curious. But he's also worked with a lot of people you do know. So I know Marco loves Sugi here for whatever reason. He wanted to cover Sugi. I'd bust his chops, but he's not here to do it. So we'll wait until next week when he covers Sugi in this bounty hunter thing. But you can see, first appearance for Embo was on that Seven Samurais episode of Clone Wars, where they kind of brought the Jedi brought everybody in to like protect the town, and it was Sugi's crew, and Embo was part of them. Young Ahsoka, miss those days. Definitely miss those days. Another crew he's worked with, Cad Bane. Everybody loves Cad Bane. I know you guys covered him last week when I was out, but he's worked with Cad Bane, worked for Dooku, so he's been around. And in case you can't see him, there he is. He's right there in the background. Also, who has he worked for? The Hutts, this Hutt cartel with this newer crew. So, work for the Hutts. Then I get to a couple of the novels, which I don't know a lot about because I haven't listened to or read them yet. But he also apparently worked with Crate's Claw, which is young Boba Fett's crew.
Yep.
Yeah, see right there? That's little Boba Fett running a crew of bounty hunters. And you catch that in Dark Disciple, which is on my list of to-do things to listen to. My audiobook. I got to download it to my phone. I just got to.
One of the best books.
That's what everybody keeps saying. Even Solo had listened to it recently and told me I got to start. And I'll get to it. I just need time. Or a long trip. I think that's what I need. I need a long trip. And the final group, and I think, was Jazz Amari, who I think is related to Sugi. I think she's like a descendant or something in Aftermath, Empire's End. there's a whole thing, and Dengar's involved. I get to work with Dengar. So that was the last crew that he worked with. Yeah, crazy Dengar. And the reason why we're talking about him, because we don't know exactly what happens to him, because he makes it through all of those missions and all of those things. And I think the prevalent theory is that he ended up back on Felucia, which was the Seven Samurai area, to become a farmer. So we got Farmer Embo, maybe? Gonna bring him back? I don't know. Possible. Now, I know that doesn't sound very cool to you. You're like, why are you saying he's cool based on that, who he's worked with? But check it out. He's got a bowcaster like Chewbacca. How many people are rocking the bowcaster?
Yep.
It's a BA weapon right there. Let's see what else we got for him. He's got a pet, Marok, which is, I forget what this thing's called, a Nox or something. It's something with an A. The species, but he's got a pretty cool pet. Doesn't make it through to the end because pets, they don't last forever, but still he had a cool pet throughout that Clone Wars series. And obviously you got the hat, which sure, he looks like a character from Big Trouble in Little China with that hat. But that hat is more than just an accessory. That hat can be used as a weapon. That hat can be used as a shield. And, if you get the nice weather and nice snowy hills, you can use the hat as a sled. All the many uses for Embo's hat. And let's see what else we got. Comic appearances. I'm going to try to keep it quick. So his first appearance, which I have around here somewhere, but Star Wars Adventure 16 on the B cover. You can see him right there in the background. That's his first and only comic book appearance. So that's the one you want if you're interested in Embo. There is an A cover that has some these. What is it, Rebellion? I don't know, that crappy series that you guys keep trying to say, it's okay. It gets going after a while, but no, I just can't do it. I can't watch Rebellion. And then there's a 1 in 25 as well. I think it's 1 in 20. Maybe it's a 1 in 10. I know it's the retailer. It might just be a 1 in 10, but
10.
Yeah, 10. I was going to say, IDW is usually 10. He's in a few magazines for insiders, not on the cover, so I'm not going to give you all the numbers, but if you want to see the insider magazines, I believe he's in these 4, running throughout. And he's got one toy that I could find that was official, like this Clone Wars toy, which is kind of cool. And then somebody made this pretty awesome custom, Black Series. So I figured I'd share that because it looks like a pretty cool. I'd buy this figure. If this were real, I'd definitely buy this with Marok, or I don't know how you pronounce the dog's name or his pet's name.
Would be cool if they came out with it. That'd
it
be
would, wouldn't it?
Toy.
Especially with the hat, you give him the bowcaster. Like this figure would sell. I know it would sell. I'd buy it.
Bartles, James, come on, get on it.
Give me this. Don't give me some weird pilot I've never heard of. I don't care about. And then Lego. We got a Lego. This set actually has Aura Singh and Sugi in it too. So it's kind of pricey though because it's an older set, but there is a little Lego figure for Embo. And some people had actually made up mock-ups of his ship, the Guillotine, which I think was mentioned in one of the books, but we haven't actually seen it. So people built their own version of it. So I thought it was kind of cool too. So I figured I'd share that. Looks just like a flying saucer, like Kang, but not Marvel Kang, but Simpsons Kang, like their ship.
Kind of looks like the front half of another ship from another show that shall not be named.
Yeah. Possibly. Well, you can mention it. He's not here. Now's your time. We all should have wore Star Trek shirts just for fun.
I do not know Star Trek shirts.
Real quick, video game wise, they did have a Galaxy of Heroes, for him, an entry, which I thought was kind of cool. And again, they make use of that hat, even playing up some of the scenes that he did. Like if you look at the one on the left where he throws the hat and catches it, it's like straight out of the cartoon where he brushes the brim. It's definitely cool.
Kung Lao.
Exactly.
Finish him.
And then my final bit, because I know I've gone on a lot about Embo, is we do get an Easter egg about him in Rebels with Sabine Wren. Yeah, she likes her little street art. And on the ship, on the wall, right there behind her, if you could see it, she's got a picture of Embo and Cad Bane drawn on her wall. So in some way, she is a fan of these two.
Is he flying a miniature jet or something?
I think, yeah, possibly. It's creative.
It's an Imbo Burger King toy.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's the Burger King exclusive toy.
But come on, it's Embo. Absolute badass.
I like Imbo though.
I do too.
I really do.
I do too. Let me see. So that's my bounty hunter profile.
All right.
And we got to go back to JJ for his, which is
Yep.
It's going to be a shorter one because we haven't
Short and
seen much
sweet.
of this character.
Yeah. Not a lot. Gonna be an interesting character though. Calling it now.
You calling it?
Yep. I think she's gonna be interesting.
Oh, not miss me.
Oh, there you go. All right. So here's my bounty hunter, or should I say assassin profile. Star Wars. Somebody that I want to see more of going on in the future. Especially live action, maybe. So Destic. So
Nice.
anybody who's been keeping up on the bounty hunter comic books, seen her in the last 2 comic books, particularly number 14, the last one. But her story is short but very interesting, and it's an interesting character because of both her background and I think her, I guess, abilities and her potential. So hit the next slide for me, would you, Pete? So, quick notable facts. She first appeared in the Star Wars Uprising game, and for the longest time, that was her only appearance. And then she is the daughter of a Night Sister who, Shellish, who basically escaped the slaughter that Dooku perpetrated on them. And she, growing up, she grew up in like a criminal area. They were basically on the run with her mother, and she actually became an assassin and actually ran to the ranks of running an assassin guild, which from what I could figure out, I didn't get to the reasons of how, but she ends up running I think it's Cohen. That's how I'm going to say it, at least Kohan is the assassin guild that she runs. And basically her and her guild in the Uprising game joined kind of an alliance, or I guess you could say rebellion, although they seem to think they're separate from the rebellion. They call themselves the Uprising against the Empire. And her and her guild end up assassinating, at least in the game, several Empire members up to the upper echelon of them. But we know her, at least where most fans know her, is from the comic book lately. So in 4 ABY, which is when the Bounty Hunters 14 comic took place, that's when the Crimson Dawn hired her to go after Dengar and Balance. And later on, at some point, Dengar. Let's see. Later on, at some point, we know that she goes on to basically eliminate a leader of the Imperial Purge Troopers. That's the end of the Uprising game, and that's kind of where her story ends. She's a very interesting character. If you flip to the next slide for me, because basically she's born of a Night Sister, and then, as we all know, they kind of have like a inherent Force ability, at least. But her Force abilities are never manifested that we see, so I think that could be something interesting to go forward there. I don't know, with the Dathomir people, like, kind of saw where they were able to magically kind of unlock their powers, like with Savage Opress and some other characters.
Magically unlock.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how to determine it, but they're all witches, so
I got
you go from there. So she first showed up in the Star Wars Uprising game, which I never played and was only out for like a year, and now it's kind of defunct. So there's no going back and playing that. All there is to read about it. And then she does show up in a final page appearance on Bounty Hunters 13, and then of course on the cover and all throughout 14. And she will be in the next 2, as far as I know, at least previewed in 15 and 16. So
so that first appearance is that Hulk 180, 181 situation.
Yeah, it's a good old full final page appearance of whether or not that's her. And I'm not gonna delve into what's first and not a first for that, but yeah.
And we've got disembodied head or disembodied voice.
Hey, first off, just because you think I'm not on the show doesn't mean you can start talking about that other show that we don't talk about, all right? Number 2, Dusty Baker. Also, no dad jokes. That's been banned. There's no dad jokes out there. It's funny that you did this character, though, JJ, because I really wanted to kind of compare this one to Lupop, the new character we just saw out there, too, with, the bounty hunters, and which one you kind of felt they were they were maybe doing better. I don't know how. Are you done with your profile on this on Dust
Yeah,
Sticks?
I mean, to me, at least, it's interesting that I look at her a little more like an assassin than a bounty hunter at this point, even though she took the bounty for Dengar and Valance. So it'll be interesting to see how they use her going forward.
But I mean, just as far as characters go, period, like, because they're kind of similar, right? Like, they both have backstories that they've been around, but we haven't quite seen them. And I agree with you about the force power, but usually that's like you said, an Unawakening. And since there wasn't any sisters left and she didn't go through the ritual, I don't know if she's gonna like actually have the Unawakening power for her. But like, I mean, her compared to Lupop. I mean, Lupop was okay, and she ate somebody, right? I mean, I know you guys did like an hour long to break down.
It didn't show her eat. But like, implied that she might have taken a bite.
I mean, do you feel that, like, I thought they did a good job with introducing her, even though they kind of gave like the preview thing where she was in a shadow and everything else. Do you think that both of these characters are on equal ground as far as like, because I know this book, all of a sudden, I know Solo said he had trouble finding it on yesterday or today when he went out looking for
yesterday
the Jabba book. But like, even at the con, the price had dropped back down for the 125 to about $65. You know what I mean? There is a lot of those copies. That wasn't a book that snuck up on everybody. The question is, for the long term, do you think like both of these characters are great characters, or do you think like maybe one is better than the other? Because I mean, I really do like Death Sticks. And Lupop's okay, but even kind of how Solo had brought it up, like where does that character, like, she's supposed to have been around for like 1,000 years, right? Like, where was she for 999 years?
I think that's the interesting thing is, one character is supposed to kind of be the ultimate bounty hunter, at least so we're told. And then the other character is kind of this shrouded in the shadows. Supposedly they don't even see your face ever. Nobody knows what she really looks like, type of deal. So
I think that JJ had a solid point that there was a lot of other characters, just like Asajj and her bounty hunter that era that was cut very short. And then now we see brain fart, what's her name in Mando, the other new bounty hunter, and moving forward now Fennec, and now we have a lot of female bounty hunters, and they're playing into the female bounty hunter assassin style role, and I think it's a positive move for them.
Well, they had to undo what they did in Attack of the Clones, when Jango hired like face changer and just like offed her like she was nothing. She just,
also too in Solo, when they threw Sing off, supposedly, we don't know if it's true or not, when they threw Sing off the bridge. But I did like what Jedi said, like, you don't have to ruin the Ventress story line by giving us a new character, but it seems like they're giving us a split person. That's why I thought about that, because it seems like it's a split personality of Ventress, where they're doing both these two characters. I mean, I enjoyed both of them. I thought they were great, especially if she does eat it. I know the hair changing thing was a little bit interesting, and so was the like stepping out of the shower, having the tunic on her hair, or whatever was going on there. But
I think JJ's selling me on Death Stick with the purple on this display here. Like, that's just something cool about that
cool.
image, the logo.
I think if she shows up in a game,
the guild from the game, the logo for the Assassin's Guild.
Yeah, I think Jedi's got a strong point of them moving with these characters and seeing which one sticks and playing it for the long term. And it may be both, maybe all three.
I just wish I liked their names better.
Yeah,
I still can't not hear the guy selling cigarettes in the bar. And
Star Wars has done a terrible job, or the writers of Star Wars, and I brought this up before. These names they're coming up with are just kind of, they're interesting,
trash,
but they're hard. Well, they're just hard to remember.
And that and Lompoc, I just think of Out of Sight, Jack Foley, where he was held in prison down in Florida. Like, that's all I hear when you tell me he was Lompoc. I'm like, what?
Sounds like a delicious popsicle dessert or something. I don't know.
Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, back going to the Crimson Crusader. It was also star in the promo for the Star Wars Adventures #1. They did that, like, the original #1 where they popped it out. He's actually in the back scene with the last clone. Yeah, the ash can with the last clone alive. Yeah, he gets like 3 panels in that too. Just so you
remember that cover.
Definitely not on the cover.
He did.
That is his first
No, he's not on the cover.
right?
No, it's his first cover. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
We did a
That's
little
what I
profile
thought,
on
but I
him
couldn't
like
remember.
6 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's been a while. It's been a while. So no, you guys are doing a good job though. I'm gonna lose power again here soon, so you keep it up and
Hey,
I'm gonna let
Marco,
you
did you catch the beginning of the show?
I did. So we all. They didn't only just take out the internet and the power lines; it also took out a couple cell phone towers out here.
Mm.
So we get surging in our service. So I missed the. Why? What happened at the beginning? What did you guys do?
Oh, I snuck in a dad
Nothing.
joke.
Absolutely nothing. It was perfect.
Did you? Yeah. All right. I'll go by. I'll watch it in replay when the service is better.
It's like the principal
don't need
stopped
to-
by to check in on the substitute.
I know, right? Did you
No,
guys?
but you can
right
go back
here.
and rewatch.
Did you guys do? Did you guys do? Did you do pickups already?
It's like when
Cool.
like when the like the regional manager boss shows up at work.
Yeah, right.
Everybody have casual. Just
Act like nothing happened. All right. Well, okay. So I'm definitely gonna be handing out reprimands next week. I also have some really good pickups, so we might do a couple weeks of pickups because this last con was pretty good.
We'll do that on Wednesday. We can do it Wednesday. Show all your stuff.
No. I got the other stuff too to show. I mean, we at this con we pretty much there was three of us, and we could have started a shop in our hotel room with how much stuff we had bought.
Somebody mentioned earlier in the chat, and I didn't go over, but that there may have been a giveaway planned, and I don't know. We'll do that probably at another time. Right?
Oh, or for here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there a giveaway planned here?
Do we have a giveaway for this?
I thought we
have
mentioned
no idea.
something about it, but
That's one of our viewers trying to take advantage of Marco.
Well, I wasn't on last week. I don't know what you guys did.
Right. Yeah.
we said Pete was giving away a very valuable 9.8 comic last week, and he's supposed to send it to JJ at.
Before we started, I did run my giveaway, so I do know who won my giveaway. But you will have to wait until tomorrow morning to find out if you won.
So if you're on Renovision, yeah.
Was it Ruben? Was it Ruben again?
Please tell me it wasn't Ruben again.
I'm sorry.
I love Ruben, but
I don't want to spoil it, but it wasn't.
Someone in the chat was very smart, and they're like, "These grumpy old men can't remember what happened last week. I'm just going to tell them there was a giveaway and I won. And hey, you want to give me some good books? Just go. I think it was a 5 run.
If it was Ruben, I definitely would have believed 100% that
that we forgot to send him something.
That he won something. That we forgot to send him something. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody on the chat. I want to thank you guys for this week real quickly. Like I said, I think the power is going to drain here on my phone. I got to get off. But and plus, I don't want to have to review Bad Batch because I don't think I've ever given it lower than like a 3.5.
Yeah, what's your ranking before you go? What's your
not talking about it. I'm breaking up. You're breaking. No more jokes about ships and other programs. All right.
Come on, give me a little Spies Like Us, Chevy Chase, like while you're breaking up.
I really, I can't.
He
actually,
lunch date. So I must go.
Yep. Later. The service. Bye. Throw me back in the back room, Pete.
Oh. Well, that was a nice little interlude.
That was Marco, folks.
That was my time to go pee.
Marco's going through a tunnel.
And you missed your window.
I missed the window. Yeah. It's all right. But we do have another segment coming up. I don't know if you're ready. Are you ready, Jedi?
Oh, we're doing mine, or we're going to do Hasbro? I thought we were going to do Hasbro first.
Nah, I'm going to do yours first and then do
Hasbro. Do yours first.
Okay.
Either way.
Let's do it.
I mean, we can do it either way, but I got yours ready, so we're doing yours.
Then if it's ready, let's do it.
Let's see, where is it at? There we go.
Okay, so I was telling the guys the story. I think this was Friday, in our little production chat about I stopped by this store. It's a figure store. They kind of specialize in Funkos and stuff. And I stop by there every once in a while. And the guy was showing me some of his, not really his personal collection, but some of the high end stuff they have. And I'll show those in a minute. But yeah, so then Marco jumps in. He goes, "Yeah, put something together on Funkos for the show." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, that was a good story. What you were just saying. Just go ahead and throw something together." I'm like, "Okay." So I start, burning the midnight oil. I start throwing stuff together. So this is it. As we get to the latter parts of it, maybe I can't remember. Maybe I dreamed it. Maybe I don't know. But we'll see. It ran I think I went to bed at like 4 in the morning.
Oh my!
But beyond that, I also watched.
We can provide the materials to anybody who wants them. Just we'll email them out if you want the slides.
Yeah.
Materials are available later.
Don't use it as reference, but yeah, sure.
Is that
So Funko, the company, real quick about the company, it was created by Mike Becker, who wanted the company to be fun. A lot of this I learned from watching, and I mentioned it's one of the bottom bullets there, the docu-movies called Making Fun, the Story of Funko. You can watch it on YouTube. Search for it and watch it. It's about an hour and a half, but it's pretty cool. It goes into the company. You know, it was kind of a labor of love with this guy to make this company. Him and his friends were really into pop culture and nostalgic type things. They would go traveling to, these different shows, garage sales, blah, blah, blah. So that's kind of how the idea started. And when he got the name from, he wanted the company to be fun. So fun company, Funko with a C doesn't work. Funko with a K, perfect. Let's run with it. So it was founded in 1988.
I always thought I was a big fan of funk music.
Yeah, let's get some George Clinton up in here.
This thing, I would have probably said the same thing. Yeah, these things are funky, but nope. Starts fun company. So it was founded in 1998 in Snohomish City in Snohomish, Washington. It's now headquartered in Everett. After they're pretty much global, obviously, but they built their headquarters back in Everett, Washington. The first bobblehead, because it wasn't always pops, they actually started with bobbleheads, and they've done other things other than, and they still do other things other than pops. Obviously they have different things, but the first bobblehead they mass produced was Bob's Big Boy bobblehead in 1998.
Is that
down there? Is
that Frisch's Big Boy, like the restaurant?
The hamburger joint.
Yeah.
It's a big boy, sir.
They called the guy. They called one of the managers of one of the stores and said, "Do you want these?" And the guy's like, "No." And he goes, "Well, here, just take them free. It's my gift to you. A box of like 30 or whatever." And he got a call the next day saying, "Hey, give us more. We've already sold out." So it was there. The desire was there. I've had people tell me Funkos are trash. I've had people tell me they love them. It really runs the whole spectrum of collecting. I think Funko's really, if you're into nostalgia, and the target or the goal, I think, of Funko is nostalgia, to remember things from when you were a kid, growing up, certain special events in your life, things like that. So next slide, because I promised, since this is a Star Wars show, we'll show the big boy Boba. So these are the guy at the store actually had, I'm not going to say the name of the store, someone might rob him, but the guy at the store I went to actually had these in his store. I think Dom Tober has showed off a couple. He may own these. He probably, I think, at least owns 2 or 3 of these.
Yep.
And I think he showed them off when he was on here once.
Protect the store, but no worries about selling Dom out.
No, I don't know. Dom lives in a secure mansion with he's the guy.
He's in a bunker.
Yeah.
Lots of guard dogs.
So so the first, I'll go through them real quick. I don't know if I put these in the right order, but anyway, we'll go from the first one. So Freddie Funko is kind of the mascot of Funko Pops or whatever. They went in the documentary, if you're interested, he's kind of a melt of a couple of people in the company and some old TV cartoon. I don't know. Watch the documentary. If
you get the alliteration.
So a lot of times at the cons, they'll give out Freddie Funko Pops, limited editions, and they'll be, kind of cosplaying in, Boba Fett, maybe, some other character from Twilight or Harry Potter, whatever.
I got you.
This first one listed is exactly like the second one listed, except for the hair color, the green hair. And when I say PPG, that I got those from the Funko Price Guide. It's an app I have on my, you can get on your phone. It's not the best app as far as prices, but it's better than some of these others I did go through and look up on eBay too. But so the first one, when you look this up on the Funko app, it doesn't really differentiate between these two, the red hair and the green hair. But when you get on the secondary market, there is a huge difference. The green
Okay.
hair, I think, like limited, or it was a couple thousand made. I forget exactly, and it's too small to read. But the red hair, there was only 24 made of this, and it was a San Diego, I believe San Diego Comic-Con. And from what I've heard, just from people that are in the con, that know Funkos and stuff, these didn't even sell out when these things first came out. They couldn't even get rid of all 24 of those things. Now, whether or not that's true or not, I don't know, but that's what a couple of people told me. Now the red hair is on the secondary market, $8,000. The green hair is normally around $2,000, give or one way or the other. And then I know for a fact Domtober showed off the other two from Droids, the Boba Fett from Droids.
Oh, sorry.
Oop, back.
I hit the mouse.
The exact same, except for the sticker. The San Diego, or I think the Comic-Con, I think it was San Diego. Yeah, San Diego Comic-Con. They both RPG at about the same. Actually, no. The price guide only shows the San Diego one. eBay sales say anywhere from $1,000 and a little bit up on that one, whereas the one from Europe, I think it is.
Yeah, I think it says Europe on the sticker.
I only found one that actually sold on eBay. There may be other avenues of sales, but eBay is where I went. One sold for $1,450.
Craziness.
So very pricey. I told the guy at the shop I went to, I love looking at them. Not gonna buy it. No, sorry.
And counterfeits. You say beware of counterfeits.
You will. Thank you for pointing that out. I put that on every slide because there are counterfeit or customs. JJ last week showed us a custom one, not of this, of another one that was made, another custom Boba Fett. Customs are fine. I just say beware of people. Using
I guess they can get the green hair and just paint him some red hair, and there you go. He's got $8,000 on you.
I'm not smart enough to be able to tell you how to spot the difference. I'm really not. If you're in the market, hopefully you do your homework and figure it out. Again, I don't. But I put that on every slide because there are counterfeits out there. There are customs out there where people can only afford, not necessarily these two, but any of them. Maybe people can only afford one of the lower ones, but they pay somebody $30 or $40 to custom it to make it look like another one. That's fine because they know what they're doing. It is as advertised as a custom. The problem gets to be where people make these changes and they pass them off as real to unsuspecting customers who pay out a lot of money only to find out later they're counterfeit. So just be wary if you're going to spend that kind of money. Talk to somebody who knows Funkos.
They're not the hardest boxes to open up, like without
they're not. Nope.
They're very easy to open.
I'm going to mention that a little later too, but you're absolutely right. They're not sealed.
I'm jumping ahead.
Some of them are sealed. Most of them are not. They're easy to open up and exchange out. Okay, so I decided to cover what would be like an early series of Star Wars.
One of these is not like the rest, but go ahead.
So, so there's this again. These prices are per the PPG app. The Darth Vader, as you can see, it runs a lot less than the Han Solo. The Chewbacca is a lot less than the Greedo, as you can see. That's not a
Greedo is what stood out to me. I'm like, wait a second, these are all $20, and then Greedo all of a sudden.
Their release dates were kind of spattered from 2011 to 2015. I'll show you a little bit later why you can tell the difference. And the ones that were released earlier, you can tell which ones were released earlier, and those do demand a premium.
But they maintain the same, I guess, numbers because pops are numbered, like they have that
same numbers on
issue
these.
number or whatever.
Yeah, the same number on these, and then by now, if you're into pops and you've done any shopping for pops, either on Whatnot or whatever, I can't tell you how the numbers work now. They're up to like 550 something or whatever.
Well, they do like variants on things where they'll like, all right, Vader. Well, now it's battle scarred. There's like some scuffs on his armor, so that's technically different.
They'll graffiti them up, or they'll do whatever. Yeah.
It's Rainbow Vader. That's another one. Let's put a number on him.
So this is Series 1, which runs from 1 through, what was that, 7, right? So
yeah.
Okay, so next, slide, we have Series 2. Again, runs from like 2011 to 2014. You see the price differences per the PPG. I'm going to keep stressing that because I'll talk a little bit about a different.
Yeah, I got to imagine some of these sell for more than this.
They do, and you'll see why when we get to the slide. I'll talk about that. So, yeah, so you'll see like some of the real characters that you would think, wow, that's going to be expensive. Your Darth Maul, your Boba Fett's are
first
not.
Issue and all.
Yeah, Luke in his dark shirt is worth 170. Gamorrean guards who are a dime or a dozen worth 145 as far as the characters. My buddy C3PO travesty $22. Are you nuts? All right, so next slide. I think I left off a 0 on that one. No, I didn't.
No,
and then we get to what you would think would be Series 3, but no, they no longer label them with series. There's nothing on the back except for a list of other Funkos that came out about the same time, but it does not say Series 3 on it. So after this, they just start numbering without a series.
I got the numbers. I guess that's fine. The running count.
So again, you see the Leia, Slave Leia is the biggest one in this, and then you have Clone Trooper, and then the others. Sandman's about Sand.
Tusken Raider.
Tusken Raider is worth 75, and so is Jawa, etc., etc. Okay, so now we're going to start talking about why. Let's go to the next one. No, actually, maybe we're not. Go to the next one. So these are some others. This is where Pops can be just as confusing as comics, maybe even more so, I think, because we're going to get into. I'll talk a little bit about vaulting. Vaulting is whenever they put a Funko away, they're not going to produce them anymore. Usually, once it's vaulted, they don't unvault them. I don't think, except for like real rare occasions. If they do bring back which is what they've done on these. If they do bring back the same Funko, they'll put them in like a black box instead of a blue box. It's like
that's like trade paperback wise. You get the OOP, the out of prints. Like that's it. They're not making them right now.
Yeah, so they do the reprints or and then of course you got the stickers. Oh God, the stickers mean everything in collecting Funkos. I think Dom Tober's mentioned that in previous shows. I'm not even really going to get into the stickers. What I will get into on these is the font. Large font versus small font, and my very last slide, which is the one I added, Pete. It really kind of blows it up and shows you.
Okay, the last slide.
Large fonts. The large fonts are usually the older ones that were released like when they first, like 2011.
Like this.
Then when they re-release, I
can zoom in a little bit.
Yep, large font where it says vinyl bobblehead. I think
where I can see a little difference next to the Han over here. It looks, even it's a little blurry. It's zoomed in, but you can see it's a little bit.
The last slide, it'll show it a little better. But,
okay.
So, so the fonts make a big difference, as well as that on the barcode on the bottom. If it says JJL, a lot of times that'll mean that it's an early release, like a 2011 release, not when they re-released it again in 2013 or through the 2014. The fonts on these Star Wars blue boxes mean everything when it comes to these older releases. So real quick, what happened to 14 and 16? I know we didn't count, but series 2 ended with 13, and then it jumped to 17. What happened was these other ones.
Yeah, there's 13. 3PO's 13.
13.
And then
this
Luke,
goes
X-Wing is 17.
17. So what happened to 14, 15, and 16? Well, they were con releases. The Shadow Trooper there is 14, and then you have Han and Luke in their Stormtroopers that are 15 and 16. Those are all con exclusives.
Kind of short for a Stormtrooper.
Very short. And these things they demand a premium. Next slide. I think I'll go over the cost of this one. And I think I asked the question, is this considered Series 1? Because it says Series 1 right there on the box. But but it's 14, which comes after Series 2. How can that be Series 1? I don't know.
Well,
but it says it on the box. So
a
that's
little
confusing.
lazy on the edit checks there when they were proofing the
But
box.
it says Series 1, so I guess it is Series 1. And it's an expensive addition to your Series 1. It's PPG at about just under $1,700. So I don't know. A lot of these, if you really want to put the run together, you spend the money on this. It really just depends on if that missing numbers bother you or not. Because 15 and 16, next slide, also con releases, also
they got this limited.
a lot of money. Now these I consider not a series because they don't say
they kind of stand alone.
Yeah, they don't say. Well, if you remember 17, they got rid of the Series 2. So these just kind of start, like 17 and beyond. They don't say series on it. But these were con releases, PPG at just under $1,000 for each one. I tried looking up some sales on eBay. I found a couple, but it was best offer accepted, and they've removed the little trick. They've gotten rid of the trick where you can find out what it was. So I couldn't really find out what it was.
There's still a couple sites you might be able to use. I'll send them to you.
Okay. So, but anyway, yeah. So these are going to cost you money if you want them. Next slide.
Last slide. Let's see this.
Is
big
it the last
small
slide?
font.
Yeah, it is the last slide. So this is the slide where you can really see the difference in the font. The large font on the right versus the smaller font on the left. Large font usually indicates, from what I've been able to tell, early orders or early releases. The others you can look at as like second print, third prints if you want. Usually demand higher resale. But you can find, so all the ones that earlier we looked at, like your Chewbacca's, your Boba Fett's, your Darth Mauls, there are large font releases of those. And even though the PPG didn't list it, if you go out and look on eBay and Mercari and some of these others, people know what they got. And when they list them for sale, they're asking for that premium. So a Boba Fett will probably run you over $100. Depending on box condition and all that, will probably run you over $100 in the large font. Whereas the smaller font, $20, $25.
I'm sure that's got to be tough for not only the Pops price guides, but even comic price guides to differentiate between like newsstand, not newsstand, because not everybody lists it when it's something different. And if they do, they might not list it properly. Be able to sort through all of that data, it's got to be a pain. Got to be tough.
Yeah. So I'm actually, I say this now, not, I'm actually trying to put this pop set together. But of course, because I am who I am, I want
big
the
font?
Large font, right?
I was going to say, you want large font or are you going whatever font?
I have two. I got the, I don't know if you want to blow me up to the bigger screen. I have the Han large.
There you go.
Large. And I have.
That was one of the pricier ones with the PPG too.
The Han was about $270. This one's about $290. The big Nobi. Again, box condition means a lot. I also have a couple of the not so big font, which I bought before I knew. So thank God Marco had me do the research, I guess. But the good thing is I only spent like $15 on it, so it's still, it's not a bad deal. And I have Chewbacca too because I collect Chewbacca. But these are my pickups, folks, and it's the small ones. So I think I paid.
Man, it's so hard to say no.
Yep.
I think I had one of those set together. Say again.
As a Wookiee, I'm really trying not to do the Funkos because I collect too much stuff, and man, that Chewie.
That's why I can't do it.
My inner
Dom
Wookiee is
I brought it up last week. Dom Tober told me. I think we were chatting about something on IG. It might have been Whatnot or whatever. He's like, "Hey, be careful, man. You start going down that rabbit hole."
Turntables.
Well, yeah, the turntables get you. You just can't help.
Can't resist those things.
Well, forget the turntables. I'm telling you, these pops can get you really down a rabbit hole because you just golden girls. I like Golden Girls. All of a sudden, you got to buy all 4. You can't just have one Golden Girl. You got to have all the Golden Girls. Or you
And
have
that's
to
why
have all of the Seinfeld characters. And then you started collecting Seinfelds. Like, oh, wait a second. They've got this Kramer and this George. And now you're buying multiples of the same series.
Looney Tunes. I mean, everyone loves Looney Tunes, right?
Marvin, they have a Marvin and a Canine, and I was this close because I collect Marvin stuff. And
Marvin the Martian is expensive.
Oh,
yeah, and
Imagine.
and I found a place where I could get one for dirt cheap, and then I found out there's locked one, and it was like, nope, just say no, because before you know it, you got 6 Marvins and 14 Chewbacca's, and it just don't.
I found myself
too many.
Like Dom Tober warned me, I kind of found myself kind of starting down that rabbit hole, and I'm like, you know what? No, I'm going to stop. I do like Funkos. I'm one of those guys now that I can say I just like them. I think they're cool. But because I kind of like the older stuff anyway, I kind of gravitate, towards the older comics, the older action figures. And these blue box Star Wars are about it, as far as Funkos go, they're about as far back as you can go for Star Wars, I guess. I said, you know what? I'm going to concentrate on that. That way I don't spend all my money on this other everything that pops up on Funko or on Whatnot or whatever, right? So
I don't have self-control. That's why I just can't start.
Focus myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same here.
I know myself. I can't control myself. Once I start, it's find me on a corner.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, there's so much. Let's face it. In the Star Wars world, there's certain realms that there's so much stuff out there, and Star Wars is probably number 1 in the entire realm of collecting anything, because you've got books and novels and action figures and comic books and different sizes of action figures, and then you've got the Funkos and I mean, heck, if you want, you can collect Star Wars cookie jars, you can collect Star Wars baking books, you can I mean I've got books on Star Wars origami. It just,
Christmas ornaments.
Yeah, you can get into some of those Hallmark ornaments.
Hallmark.
So I'll just wrap it up by saying that, hey, I did all this research and put this stuff together in a couple of hours on a late Friday night. If for you guys out there that know Funkos, if I messed something up, I apologize. I did the best I could. And if you really want to get into Funkos, do research, because you can either go down a rabbit hole and end up spending money on stuff where maybe you had wished that you had been more focused, or I don't think it's any different than comics really, but or you might end up spending a lot of money on a counterfeit if you're really not careful, or if you're like anything awesome. You're going to spend a lot of money on. Do your research.
No, that was great, Jedi. That was a lot of info, man. That was really cool. Good job.
Yeah. Only difference, I think I can store 6 comics like this in a box, whereas 6 pops.
So you bring that up, and I want to say this. I think another good thing about Funkos when it comes to figures is they are so stackable. I kind of gravitate towards the 3.5-inch action figures. The new releases they do, because they take me back to my childhood, and that's how the ones we kind of packaged back in my childhood.
See, I did the different.
I don't know what to do with them, because you can't really display. You got to have stands, all this other stuff if you want to display them. Funkos, you just stack. I mean, look behind me; they're just stacked. The ones I have.
No, they are stackable. And you went 3 3/4. I went with the 6-inch for everything. I'm like, you know what? I had the 3 3/4 when I was a kid. I'm going with the big guys now. Like these are the ones. They're more like statues. These are mine.
Yeah, you get into those giant ones like Dom.
Those giant ones.
This thing's like 18 inches, and he's got what, 3 of them, 4 of them. Yeah. I mean, you start getting into those big ones on top of the small regular size Funkos, and man,
I think Dom's doing it. I mean, Dom has a very good collection. I call him the Godfather, Grandmaster Funko. Just kind of kid him a little bit, but I think he's also pretty focused on Boba Fett. And I think he does others. Like I think he was showing off Darth Maul and stuff a little bit too. But I think, so you got to kind of have a focus, because or you can just go.
You've reached that echelon when you call it the room. Like, this is my comic room, or this is my pop room. when it has its own room. Right now. That's when you've collected a lot.
when you change it from room to vault, like this is my vault,
Yeah.
then there's an issue. You know that you're probably going to be single soon.
I don't know if Dom's in the,
your life might.
watching right now. I don't know if Dom's watching right now or if he watches this later. He's probably gonna be, hey, you guys should have just invited me on if you guys are gonna talk about
All right.
Funko.
Well, since we mentioned them, let's go to regular action figures now.
Yeah.
Boom. Black Series.
Yep. New
I guess I'm going
announcements.
to do this one.
Go for it.
I don't want to, unless you want to do it, JJ.
I'll do it. I'll run through them. I don't
You
know.
can
the
run through
rest
them,
of
yeah, because I'm going to do
We'll
I'll do
do
the bad batch after.
So we got some Mandalorian black figure news that dropped this week. You're gonna have 3 new figures. First one up is the Scout Trooper, which they called all these carbonized. This is a weird carbonized to me. It almost looks like it's like dirty.
It's the black is the shiny part.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can't make shiny white,
Like,
really?
Did they not have a shiny metallic white paint? I guess I don't know.
No,
I don't know. It didn't come up to me, but that's carbonized apparently for the Scout Troopers. And then you had the Shore Troopers, which I think this is kind of cool. I like the kind of metallic camo green, I guess.
Yeah.
Color to them. I like the color at least. Problem with this is like I guess the market for these would be like the army builder type.
I didn't buy the first Shore Trooper. Like, I mean, why would I buy the carbonized?
What's the term? Peg warmer. I don't see this. I don't know, but we'll get to probably why they won't be a peg warmer here in a minute. But
this is why you make Embo and you don't make these shiny troopers.
Right.
Yeah, and I think these are previous released figures. Like I don't think they're anything new. They just
they just make them shiny.
Paint to them. Yeah. So, all right, but let's go to the next one. This one was kind of interesting. So you had a deluxe version of Paz Vizsla, which I don't know. Figure collectors may know more than me. I don't know if there's been a Paz Vizsla before.
There has. They just didn't name him.
Okay.
He was just
wasn't it like Mandalorian heavy armor or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
you know what? We'll make him shiny and we'll give him a name now.
Name, yeah. Which I think is kind of cool. I like the big gun, but like you said, it's just a shiny version of something I already have.
We won't change the mold. We'll just change the paint.
Just change the box and we'll just make them shiny.
They'll love it. What do you think, Bartles? Good show, James.
I love it, James.
But yeah, this is probably why they'll sell and they'll sell quick is because due out spring 2022, and they're all 3 Target exclusives. So,
and to be fair, that is pretty cool. It does look nice. Like I do like the look of this, like the blue. Mm-hmm. It does kind of a nice little sheen to it. But I'm probably not buying it again though.
Yeah, I think Hasbro has kind of nailed the packaging. I really like their packaging. It's the character selection that kind of they need to work on.
Yeah,
and the reruns, like why have the same character? I don't get it. It's like who needs 2 Shore Troopers?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can't protect the shore with only one.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess.
You need a whole army of Shore Troopers.
Battle on Scarab, though? Like, come on.
Mark, very small beach. I'll take 150. I got a big beach.
Solo's favorite.
Yep, the other half of the announcement. So you had Clone Wars Black Series figures announced, and so we're getting now Gindiized versions instead of carbonized. That's what I'm calling it.
Yes.
But so you had the ARC Trooper Captain. Now these are concept images they put up. I couldn't find actual package images yet for these 3 here. Yeah, but these are 6-inch figures, and so you're gonna have the ARC Trooper Captain, which I don't know why they just didn't call him Captain Fordo. That's his name. Like call him Fordo.
Too close to Frodo.
Yeah, I guess people they didn't want to make Peter Jackson mad.
They already got a cave troll in Star Wars Bounty Hunters.
That's true. True. Yeah, and then you're also going to get a 6-inch Grievous Gindi Tartakovsky Clone Wars version, and then we got one more.
That's going to be dope because I don't know if you guys ever seen the Grievous from. I guess I got one. So anyway,
yeah,
I got the regular Grievous.
So good. Yeah, I got a Gindi Grievous from the Clone Trooper Gindi version, the originals, and dude, that action figure, that 3 3/4 is, I mean, it is dope. That's one of my favorite figures. He looks so clean, so good.
Well, I'm glad you like it. Because they're probably just going to make a larger version of that same exact toy.
I'm okay with that, doing a repeat on this one and doing it a little bigger, a little more detailed, and I'll probably I will buy it.
They'll get you to buy
the
it
first
too.
one was so good.
Yep.
And it's not, protecting my beak.
Now this one could be good too. I'm kind of hyped for a little Mace Windu 6-inch.
Angry Sam Jackson.
Yeah, this was the best version of Mace Windu. We went over that in the Clone Wars
Absolutely.
cartoon review. So this is going to be pretty awesome in my opinion. I might for sure pick that one up. The only thing I don't like about it, again, they're out spring 2022. There's two other things that people may or may not like about it. So they're going to reuse that Clone Wars 50th anniversary packaging that we saw in the other Clone Wars characters that came out not too long ago, which I think was Echo and Obi-Wan and Luke, or not Luke, I'm sorry, Anakin. And all three are Walmart exclusives. So good luck with that. I don't know. I hear they're hard to get when they're all Walmart exclusives.
I wonder if they're going to recolor it though, like they did with the Evolutions, because I did a video on the Evolutions, and they did like go to red when they did the Walmart exclusives.
So maybe
if they go red, I know what they did.
Yep. So.
Yeah, I saw this packaging as soon as you said this is the packaging that they're going to celebrate, I guess, or do. And at first I was like, ew. But then, I got to catch myself sometimes because, like I just said earlier, I like the packaging from my childhood. And I always have to remember this is probably somebody's childhood.
Yeah. Well, this is very similar. Solo mentioned the other ones. And when they first did that series, they had the action figure line. And this is similar to that. So I assume that's why they're kind of doing that packaging. But yeah, so.
I'm going to give you my complaint over this packaging. My complaint is that 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm, because down the line, I'm going to think, oh, these must have come out in 2027 then, right?
When it's not, yeah. When it's the 50th version of Star Wars.
We're celebrating American graffiti, apparently, on the Star Wars toys, not Star Wars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, see, they're closer to that, so I wonder why that's doing it. I don't know. Maybe
or is it THX 11, whatever? What did you? Oh, you got your Gendy. I see you, Solo.
Yeah.
There's the Grievous. So I mean, it's the packaging. I wish they'd kind of go back.
Hold it up again. When I let you go big. There you go.
I mean, that's that.
See, that's retro packaging. I could be into that.
See, I'd rather see something like this, but we'll see.
Yep.
And then they had. Of course, I have more than this, but someone was mentioning the Yoda. They'd like to see the Yoda. So I agree. I hope they do the.
Yep.
So I like that packaging better than the one that they're offering, but.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We're still getting more Gendy, though, right?
Yep, more Gendy.
It's not Clone Wars Gendy.
Yep.
Love it.
Speaking of retro Gendy stuff, you got 3 3/4. So vintage collection, which I assume this is still Black Series. Do they call it Black Series Vintage Collection?
I guess.
Or do they just call it Vintage Collection? Anyways,
they call it
so you're gonna have on card 3 3/4 characters. I actually kind of like these. You got the old kind of Kenner design, plus you got the cool. Of course, me and Solo love the animation of the Gendy series, so you got that as the animation on the card.
I find that interesting because the figures don't look like the animation.
Yeah, that's the weird. Like, I don't know why Ayla Secura has like a robe. I don't know if they're like I don't know if we can put the bikini top. But give her a robe.
Still better like this.
Yeah, I don't.
She looks cold. Give her a robe.
Give her a robe.
Give her a robe.
Yeah. So you got Ayla Secura, you got Lumaria Unduli. So you got those two. Yeah, I don't know, they look pretty good.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, they're pretty detailed. And again, I don't know action figures very well. I don't know if these are reprints of old ones. They might be. And you got Barriss Offee, which I think are all the vintage collections kind of reprints of old ones, more or less.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
in a way.
Don't know.
Or adaptations. Yeah, but so you also have Barriss Offee, which I think this will be a popular one because there's been a lot of rumors about her coming back and maybe being other stuff. So. And you got again ARC Trooper Captain, who is Fordo. I don't know why they won't put his name on it, but it is. I guess it's ARC Trooper Captain for now. And then
they're gonna sell another one later where they'll put his name on it when they make it shiny.
Carbonized Fordo.
Carbonized Fordo.
Yeah.
Just call him Boba Ship.
And by the way, Pete, you still got the 50th Lucasfilm branding on these.
That's still that's
just so you know. Still there.
Still there.
Still there. And then you got this is the one part I didn't like. So you got ARC Trooper, regular ARC Trooper, who is ARC Trooper Captain painted blue, which is fine. That's the color he is. But like like he's got the cool big gun on the animation on the card. Why didn't you give him that? Why did
Give
you give him
him-
2 pistols just like
Two
the other
pistols,
guy?
like,
Yeah,
He-
do the
he
Rob
actually-
Liefeld.
Right. In the cartoon, to be fair, he does use the 2 pistols more than the big gun. But I agree, they should have tossed in the big gun.
Yeah, differentiate a little bit, but at least that's me. I don't. And then you got, of course, the battle droid, which I don't. That'll probably be a peg warmer. I don't know who the heck.
yeah, I want a Mr.
battle
Bones. Now that I see this battle droid, because it's the red. I think it's the red background. Just makes me think
Get a
I need
custom
Mr.
one.
Bones.
Yeah, customize that.
There you
as
go.
well, Mr. Bones all day.
You'll see carbonized Mr. Bones.
Carbonized Mr. Bones.
Carbonized Mr.
Bones.
But yeah, that's it. That's all for that announcement. So a pretty short announcement, and again, exclusives at Target and Walmart, and for the 6 inches, and you got 3 3/4, which I don't think are going to be exclusives. They didn't really went super clear on that, but I think those are generally available. So, but should be fun. I like Gindi Clone Wars, so I'd buy a couple of those.
Well, like, Sticks Boy said, maybe Bartles and James decided, they're like, what should we do? And they're like, I don't know. We should watch that Tales from the Dark Side. They keep ripping us a new one for all of our mistakes. They just happen to jump in and see the Gendy reviews. They're like, let's do Gendy.
I think
That
if
Marco
Bartles and James.
guy hates it. Let's do Gendy.
Yeah,
I
that
think if
solo
Bartles
guy
and
loves
James
it.
gave
Let's
crap
do
what we
Gindi.
thought, we'd be seeing better products.
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
What we got next?
Our final segment, our peg warmer version of Bad Batch.
This will be interesting to see what we all rate this one.
Oh, nope, not just me. There we go. Oh. All right, so Bad Batch. They come back. They've got their fun
This
missions.
looks familiar. The scenery looks familiar.
It does, doesn't it?
Uh-huh.
They come rolling in. They're looking for Rhea Perlman. But they don't find Rhea Perlman. They find all these weird soldiers around town. They're like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? They come to find this dude's chilling in their place.
Dr. Evil.
Yeah. What is this? Just sitting there, just petting this guy. I can't remember. What was the name of the creature?
Ruby.
Ruby? Yeah.
Ruby.
Petting Ruby. Just lounging, just saying, yeah, oh, yeah. Why am I blanking on Rhea Perlman's name? Skeff? No, not
Sid.
Sid, yeah.
Sid.
Oh, Sid, yeah. She had to be removed.
In Sid's chair there.
Yeah, just chilling in Sid's chair in her bar. And they're like, all right. They pull their guns, and they're a little bit of a face-off until eventually they're like, you know what? You guys...
There were a lot of those scenes where everybody whips their guns out in this episode. There's
a lot of gun whipping out. A lot of Mexican standoffs. So it's like, we're just going to point guns at each other. But they're just basically like, all right,
Mr.
look,
Pickles.
I can hire you guys going forward. And they're like, we'll think about it. And they're just ready to bounce. They're like, okay, Sid's done. Sid's gone. Our debt's paid. We're out of here. And then Omega's like, no, we got to help.
Help Sid. We got to help the person
Sid.
that blackmailed us for.
Yeah. Well, she showed me how to shoot my bow. We got to help her. Well, she's a generally nice person. And Sid hears because Sid's chilling in their ship saying, I'm glad somebody's looking out for me. And of course, they got to help Sid now. She's in their house. Like, she's in their ship. So they can just kick her out. They're not, they got to help her out.
Yeah,
now.
I like how I think she actually said, come aboard or something. It's, like, it's their ship.
Making herself at home. So she's got her hammerhead and I forget what the other dude's name is. Jabba's.
Yeah, those guys come up later.
On Tatooine, yeah.
Tweedledee,
those guys.
Harry
I
and
like her
Lloyd.
nicknames
We'll
for
call them Harry.
everybody. I love her nicknames for everybody. Goggles, bandana.
Oh, yeah.
It's just what they're wearing.
Yeah. Well, that's what I do, too. If you walk in a room, you see somebody, you start naming them. Like, hey, Hawaiian shirt. And then, hey, tennis shoes. And you just name people based off what you see. But, of course, she's got a plan. She wants to say, look, the pipes are in. We get the spice out of the office. We'll get rid of that guy. I'm like, I don't know. And then Omega, of course, stepping up, saying, we got to help. And, of course, Sid's got a plan. She's got a way in. They're going into the tunnels. They're going into the catacombs underneath. Hitting the mine shaft. Hitting the mining carts. Makes me think of Temple of Doom.
Yes. Even more so later.
just a little bit. But Sid's warning them, hey, be quiet. Be quiet. Don't say anything. You wake them up. And what are you talking about? Of course, we know what's going to happen.
There's something you don't want to wake up there.
And no, it's not this guy.
Nope.
But Sid's got a communication with her two stooges upstairs, Harry and Lloyd, to go. Her plan is kidnap the Ruby. Yeah, kidnap the Dr. Evil's cat so they can get Dr. Evil out of the office for a little while.
Long enough to steal 6
Does she pay that guy in Mantel mix?
I think
He's
so.
really
It's
loving
okay.
this stuff.
Give this guy some kettle corn.
Him and
it'll be
Wrecker are
cool.
like the main customers for that.
Yeah. So they get in there, of course. They take their mining carts. They get to the spice, which apparently just looks like kilos of coke.
I was about to say, a lot of drug dealing in this
It's
episode.
spice. It's spice, so it's okay in Star Wars.
And it's branded. So
It is branded.
Apparently,
You
in
know
that
it's
world,
good.
you brand what you illegally.
Yeah, it's so you know it's good.
Now, can I say that this guy was probably the better pet parent or whatever to Ruby than anybody else? He seemed like he genuinely cared about Ruby an awful lot.
He did, and I
Or
think
like the
that's
bad
what,
guy.
I think that's what sways Omega later.
Yeah. Yep. But he gets
Or at least
Ruby
that's her
back.
excuse. But we're getting ahead of ourselves with that one. So yeah, of course, Harry and Lloyd they can't keep this little pet content with their kettle corn. They somehow mess that up, and somehow also
Harry
get
and Lloyd.
caught too, which is kind of stupid.
Yep.
And Dr. Evil, he of course comes back and he notices right away. They didn't have any delay. They knew right away. Spice is gone. Send
These two guys
after them.
These two guys found them really fast in that mine
They did.
shaft.
They're
Like, hey, it's them.
Let's get them. They weren't messing around, and there we go. We got the Temple of Doom chase. So they're riding their mine carts down through the tunnels.
Completely one guy and then short round in the back.
Yeah. Up into the point where Temple of Doom all of a sudden becomes pitch black because now
Yep.
they woke up the bugs.
Yep.
They woke up.
Bugs are coming. No time
There's
for that,
winged
Dr.
bat-like creatures swirling around.
Just swarming, attacking here and there. They're fighting them off. These things.
And look, shock. They're like affected by light. Does that remind you of
Oh.
a certain sci-fi movie with Riddick in it? I don't know.
No, I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean at all.
Light hurts them. Oh.
And yeah, they get away. Wrecker shut the door, squishes a bug. You think they're good, but nope.
No.
Harry and Lloyd couldn't get away. They couldn't get away. And they
Rat 'em
don't
out.
waste any time in giving up Sid. They just, dude, it was Sid. Nope. Wasn't our
The
plan.
The Mantel mix supply ran out. So
Yeah,
he
I
had to
finished
run
all
out.
my kettle corn, so I got no allegiance left. And then, of course, the Pikes show up in the midst of this, and like, shh, be quiet, you two, get out of here. All right, yeah, we got a problem. Somebody stole the spice, and they're like, we don't care. We don't care if somebody stole the spice. We're owed spice.
Mhm.
So if you
Our
can't do it,
spice.
you're of no use. And unbeknownst to, we might have skipped over the part while we were escaping the pitch black aliens. You know, the team did lose the spice, but they figured it wasn't a big deal. But the Pikes showed up, so it will become a big deal by the end here because the Pikes still want their spice. They don't care who gives it to them. So if Sid can present the spice, they're good. They got what they came for. And in turn, they don't have it. So they say, you know what? You guys go get it then. We'll keep the kid.
Omega
It's
is
not a
always the
negotiation.
hostage.
Yeah, gotta be the
Keep the kid.
keep the kid.
Bad
And they
Batch
let it
takes
happen.
offense.
Sid lets it happen too. I thought
Yeah.
Sid was gonna be like, all right, I'll stay with her.
Well, she
Nope.
talks him down. They got the drop on him with the guns pulled, and they're like, let me handle this. Because if you
Yeah.
kill the Pikes, it's bad news. It's like,
It's bad news. What's the difference? We got the whole empire after us.
You're
There's the
running
Pikes are after us
anyway.
too. Aren't they already after us to get a reward from the empire? Like, whatever.
yeah.
But it's a story, so we have to follow this. Sid talks him down. All right, we'll go get the spice. Leave the kid here. Kid will be fine. You, big guy, muscles, you're
Yeah.
coming with me.
This was the weirdest part. Like, hey, let's take the two heaviest people in the ship and have them rappel down
Yeah,
to get
have
the,
them rappel-
to get
well,
the
they do
crates
have-
at the bottom of the shaft.
You got to get the heavy crates.
Yeah.
I guess, but yeah, let's take the old bar owner lady and let her go down there and Yeah, I don't get it. Why do they also only needed 2? They didn't need everybody up in the ship. You didn't need Tech, Echo, and Hunter in the ship to just, hey, hold steady while we go get the stuff.
You got a bonding moment between
Yeah,
Omega
bonding
and the bad
moment
guy.
between Omega and Horns here.
Yeah. Again, she bonds with every bad guy in the series.
Yeah, she does. She's very sympathetic.
Like, let's have a moment to talk.
Just, hey, I'll humanize you. And then these two, Tech, he's working on his plan. What do you think his plan is? What could affect the creatures? I wonder what he's working on. We're not going to say it. We're going to keep it a big secret for the end. So when he throws this thing, you won't know exactly what's coming. Oh, it's a big flash of light.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big flash of light for those creatures.
It's like a Blade 2 reference. That bomb that like disintegrates the vampires.
You couldn't make that last longer? Or like, I mean, at this point they were on to the last 2 and they were riding them up like, dude, gain altitude, pull out, like jump. What are you doing? Don't just sit and wait. I mean, all right, whatever.
Nope, it's just a flash of light. Doesn't matter. Just flash of light.
Once again, Tech saves everyone and gets like no credit for it. Like, hey, I'm just Tech. It's fine.
He's just Tech. Goggles.
Yeah.
Here's your spice. Big heads. Big head pikes. Here's your spice. They're cool. They don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to take care of this guy.
Yeah.
This guy screwed us, so we got to take care of him. And of course, Omega is like, no, he just made a mistake.
I bonded with him.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. He takes care of his pet, so he's got to be a good dude. Nope, Pikes aren't hearing it. They give him the chop, but they don't kill him. They take a horn. He got off easy.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets his pet back. He gets his Ruby back. And he's pretty happy about it. No complaints there. Sid's happy.
He just walks away casually at the end.
Yeah, she walks away. Hey, drinks on me. And I loved, for whatever reason, the rest of the crew scurried. Like, they ran. Like, ooh, drinks. Like, they just took off.
It's like, oh, Sid's going to buy us drinks. Like, that's your, like, payment for this horrible job?
Yeah, exactly.
One round of drinks at Sid's bar.
Round of drinks. We're cool. Yeah, so based on pitch black characters created by George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, apparently, that was our Bad Batch episode of this week.
There were numerous sci-fi movie and Indiana Jones references.
I think the term filler has already been used a few times and is quite apt.
Yeah.
That said, who wants to go first?
Anyway.
I'll go.
Go.
I have no quorums. If this episode had no arms and legs and fell in a hole, that's exactly what it'd be. Phil. It all it was Phil. Now it was entertaining, Phil.
Yeah.
Like I did enjoy it. I had some little, Indiana Jones-esque cart ride and some I don't know how flying bugs create spider webs, but it's a different world, the cavern of spider webs, but that's cool. I can hang. I did enjoy it. I did have a good time watching it, but I mean, could have skipped it. I'd have liked to seen some more. Give me some more. I really want to give it a 3, but I gotta go 2.5, 2.5. It just was
2.5 it is.
It was nothing.
Yep.
That's fair. That's fair.
I like it. No.
It's generous.
Next.
Jedi, what do you got?
So, I really think it was a filler. I don't know what else you could call it. And it's kind of late in the season. I mean,
but did your wife watch it yet with you?
She hasn't watched it yet.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll probably watch it tonight after the show. But
okay.
To me, the only thing I kept thinking, I was like, this is 13, right?
Yes.
13.
And
yep. Episode 13.
So there's 3 left, and now they're doing a filler. And I was like, But I guess if I'm, like I said in my intro, I'm going to try to find something good about this thing other than the fan, Spielberg, Raiders of the Lost Ark, etc., Pitch Black, Blade. So it did. We brought. I think we got the Pikes back for the first. I mean, we saw the Pikes.
Yeah.
So maybe we're being introduced. Maybe to the crime syndicates, which might lead us to some bigger characters that I think are involved in the syndicates.
Mhm.
And the biggest one I guess is Maul, but there's probably others too.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the only thing. If I have to find something to try and save it, maybe we're looking at that. The only thing that really bothered me about this, other than it's a filler, but like Solo said, it was an enjoyable filler. They let the bad guys get the drugs at the end.
That's
So
true.
the drugs are going to be on the street.
did go back
and
with the
lives are
drugs.
going to be ruined.
How many spice overdoses are they responsible
Yeah.
for?
If this were a good old American action movie, you got to destroy something. Bad's got to happen to the drugs. You can't let them hit the streets. Come on.
That's a
But,
good
I don't know.
point.
Other than supplying the pikes with their spice.
Maybe we're just taking this to the wrong place in associating spice with drugs. Maybe it really is just seasoning, and this is a bland universe for eating. They just need it for put on top. They just need the spice.
Paprika.
They
How
need the
many lives
paprika.
will be
Our
ruined?
food is very bland in that planet. Okay, we need the
Not the planet, the whole galaxy.
whole galaxy.
Everything is bland. Everything is Empire run gruel.
Right,
we need
and-
the spice. We need this guy to spice things up.
So I'm going to give it. I'm going to give it a 2. I'll go with Solo. I'll give it a 2. I kind of want to give it a 2, but I'll give it a 2.5.
2.5
Just on the
again.
off chance that this does lead to a bigger character in the underworld.
I got you.
So-
You're giving it a 2.5 based on hope.
Hope.
Solo's giving it
Hope
based
dreams.
on fun. It was still fun. You're giving it based on hope.
Yep.
What do you got, JJ?
So, yeah, definitely filler. And you know what? I didn't like it at all. Very much. Why the heck are we back with Sid and on Sid's planet? Like, didn't we get the whole chess match? Like, we're not under Sid's thumb anymore. Like, let's go out and explore the galaxy. And no, let's go back to the exact same place and get caught up in some shenanigans with some criminal syndicates and with numerous movie references in the middle of it.
Yeah.
No, nobody out of this storyline will tell the Empire we're here.
Yeah. All these criminals won't rat us out. The guy that lost a horn is not going to go back and be like, "Hey, that group of elite clones and everybody else that wears the exact same armor that I used to wear, by the way, they're back there on that planet having drinks with Sid." He's not going to be bitter at all. But so yeah, I don't know. I don't even know why they were there. I don't know why we got the story. I don't.
We're getting 2 from Ruben.
Yeah. You know what? I'm right there with Ruben because I don't know why. To me, there wasn't much good in this episode. The two things saved this episode. The reason I'll give it 2 helmets. One, I liked the Pikes. They were fairly ruthless. It was good to see them show up. It was kind of, even though like Jedi said, somehow they got the drugs on the end, and that'll probably flood the galaxy with those drugs. But it was interesting to see them. And I liked at the end where they're like, "Yeah, we don't accept bad deals," and go ahead and chop the guy's horn off. Anyways, I thought that was kind of cool. And and quite frankly, I'm getting a little sick of Omega trying to save everybody. With their conscience, no, really, he's a good guy. Sid's fine. They only blackmailed us for the last 12 episodes. But yeah, I just don't know why. Like they said, we're here at episode 13. We're almost at the end. I don't know why we're here with Sid doing this. Let's advance the story and get towards the end of the season. We didn't get anything on Crosshair and what's going on there.
No, yeah.
So I don't know. It's a 2 for me. There was nothing that interesting. There was very few things that saved it. So,
yeah. And I'm with you. I mean, I've talked over to you guys during yours with my opinion. So I'm also at a 2. As much as I do references to other movies, I mean, I like homages, but it just was kind of, it felt lazy and it just felt like filler. And I was like, oh, all right. Even with the Pikes, as much as I like the idea of the Pikes being introduced, they still were a little, all right, we'll just take it from you. Why do they care? I get that why they don't care who gives it to them, but why not just kill everybody? Why are they being so magnanimous about this? Of all right, if you can give it to us, we'll make the deal with you. Why don't they just say, We came here for our stuff. I don't care who gives it to us.
Yeah. There was like I said, there's like 3 or 4 instances where people were pointing guns at each other several times. Nobody shot at each other at all.
Yeah. Nobody did anything. So it was a lot of like pomp and circumstance for not a lot of action. I don't know. So I'm just going to give it a 2 and keep it simple for our review. Because again, I made my comments during your guys'
to Mojo's point there in the chat. I like that. That's right. They are actually making money now because they're out of Sid's pocket, but they didn't make any money in this episode.
No.
Everything, they got drinks at the end.
Yeah, they got free drinks. There wasn't even an offer of free kill corn.
Yeah.
Which, Crust Face got and Hammerhead. They got it just to give to the Ruby.
Wrecker might get more Mantel mix.
Yeah, the Mantel mix. I'm still calling it kettle corn because that's
kettle
what it
corn.
is.
Yeah. Delicious Galaxy kettle corn. Which, by the way, how long before they start selling that at the Disney park if they're not already?
Oh, they probably already are.
They probably already are.
Make it blue. It'll be fine. People
Dye the kettle corn blue.
Dye the kettle corn blue. But, yeah, well, that's all we got. So, thanks to everybody who made it in the chat. I see. Jesus. I'm just going to put your name up because I can't.
Thank you. That's Ish.
Oh, you got Ish? Okay.
I'll
give it to you,
yeah, that is Ish from
Hey,
Comics yesterday and going down and getting all that stuff signed.
Death Stick is kind of like a ninja. Just saying.
Yeah, very fair point.
Yeah.
And Mojo Quid, Ruben hanging in there, Sticks always hopping in there, Half Price Crook, and everybody else who stopped in there. I tried to keep up with the chat, but running all the slides, I couldn't do both. So
you did great. You did great.
We had fun though, right? We
Yeah.
Thanks, straight. Yep.
Thanks y'all for coming in and hanging out in the chat. Remember to like and subscribe, and same bat channel, same bat time next week.
Absolutely.
May the force be with you.